Aha. There we go. Now, so let's public. 3 minutes early. Cool. Yeah. This works. Okay. Oh, copy the link. Come on. Yes. It's working. Cool. Well, let's get KSP up. Oh, stop doing that. Howdy, I'm not dead. Everyone going. Okay. Is the sound good? Can you hear me? Well, I'm gonna test on my laptop, so just give me 1 second. I noticed this. Thank you. I don't know what talk is. Of course, it's not me making noise because. Is it working? Frozen? Cool. That's me. Okie doke. Oh, I gotta turn off the fair use OTRAG. We'll do some KSP first. I built an SSTO. I'll show it to you. I need to show off. This is an SSTO. Oh, I did turn off OTRAG. No, I didn't. Oops. There we go. Oh, come on. See, I built one. Look at this. How much does this weigh? I don't know. But I built it, okay? I got it to orbit. There's even propellant left. It works. No, I have never built a single stage to anywhere. But look, I did it. I'm so proud of myself. I think I should build a new Shepherd. It looks so weird. Also, I launched a thing. Look at that. It's a planetary communication thingy. Oh, it's not even open. Oh well. I launched that on a successor. Oh, there's only 3 of us, including myself. So I guess let me just check, make sure everyone on social media knows. No one knows. That's sad. Oh well. So I was going to build New Shepard, because that sounds like fun, and then a pop-up vehicle based off of it. I think that's fun. And then we'll dunk on people talking about Mars and why NASA doesn't fly reusable rockets. That's on the pipeline. But yeah, so here's where's the SSTO? See, SSTO. How much does this weigh? 198. 31. Yeah, see, it can carry a lot. Wait. Yeah, 17 tons. Excuse me. I will start a space company on one of the other lesser-known social media sites full of weirdos. I'll do it there. So let's build New Shepard. There we go. We have to make this look, you know, a bit cough. So we need drogues. 3 of them. 3 of these. I'm going to burp. That's going to be embarrassing. I'll put a thing on it so I can test it. And then aerodynamics. What looks the most like, there we go. There's our bell end. Give it a heat shield because rounded bottoms are nice. Oh, now there's 8 people. Yes, I'm still using 1.3.1. It's still from, I think, 2017. So don't get mad. Oh, this needs an abort system too. Where are some little solid motors? Here we go. Put those there. Skyline might be a thing. It's hard to say. Oh, I better save this. Okay, so we need the separator, but it's got to look phallic. I mean, completely aerodynamic, obviously. This looks that's a dual separator. I could put fins on this. And then, let's see. It's not the, there's 6 people watching right now. Or 8. One says 6, the other says 8. That's weird. Let's see, where is it? I'll put a little control module in here for when I have to land it. And then tank. Where's a dome? That's good enough. That's white. And then, oh gosh, where's the other tanks? Why is it whenever I'm looking for something I can't find it? Oh, I can't change the color of this one to be aesthetic. Is this a good one? Is this about the right size? No shrouds, because that's good. You're supposed to go up with me. Thank you. And then we need the base, which will have a component. There we go. Little handrails for people holding on to ride it. Of course, a good hydrogen engine. Oh, the gimbling. Yeah, Saber's a cool engine. Because, you know, it's got that cooling in it. It's a terrible pun. And then it's landing legs. Oh, we need fins. Air brakes for landing. Those are up. Oh, crap. I have a degree, everybody. Don't worry. Let's put these up. See, now this looks way cooler. And way less, you know, worthy of being mocked on TV. That's not the right size. Oh, these need to be bigger. That looks good. Tracked. That's good enough. Get the fins. I'll make them smaller. There we go. Look, I have built a flying, you know. Let's see how far this can go. Wait, these engines should be, oh gosh, I'll put them, oh no. Let's make them, where's the abort system? Action group, abort, activate, and then you will decouple. Let's not put any crew on this. Sorry, you've all been fired. There we go. Let us launch New Shepard, I think. Ooh, there's 11 people. Don't make fun of me for using tweak scale. I have to build real spacecraft. I've built mock-ups of Titan 4 and different rockets with it. Gosh. Let's see, I'm controlling from here. So let's see if this can actually fly. Oh, it can. Not very good odds. It's a bit heavy. I should probably go with a bigger tank. Yeah, it's probably not going to make it. Well, I can probably throttle it down at least. I think this flight test should just be to test the abort system, you know? Because you don't want your crew dying. So let's... Oh gosh, it's flying off course. Abort. Oh my gosh, it doesn't work. Well, at least we know... Well, everyone on board is dead. Well, it's going to go to space, or close enough, I guess. Let's go get a drink. Oh. Okay. Oh, fine. Do recreations without tweak scale. Well, excuse me, face of sarcasm. So the abort system doesn't work. So if anything goes wrong, the crew is dead, which is a shame, but you know, you can learn from their deaths. Like the sounds people make as they die. That's dark. Oh, okay, actually, oh, okay, it is going to space. Never mind. This is detached. Oh, okay. Yes, it is real plume. I love real plume. It's great. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, everyone's going to die from re-entry. Oh, they're dead. Let's see if it can... Oh, this is out of... I could have controlled this. I'm a smart person. I have a degree. Oh, jeez. Yes, I did. Yeah, you're a few minutes off. I keep forgetting that. Well, Does it have battery power, though? Not enough. I'll put batteries on it. So we're going to try this again. Vehicle assembly. Okay. So one of the abort group's going to turn off the engine. First things first. Virgin Galactic BO flights. Well, it's good that they worked. It would have really sucked and been horrifying if they died or something went horribly wrong. Of the two, I do prefer Blue Origin, because if I was going to fly on this, I'd like the full rocket experience, not an airplane ride. And then there's the structural things that Virgin Galactic had, apparently, which are iffy. So, but of course, also in terms of pollution, Virgin Galactic is worse, at least in flight, because they have they just burn rubber. That's it. That's their fuel. Okay, so we're gonna try this again. There's nobody on it. Good. We're gonna save. We're launch. And yes, the one problem with Starship is if the landing doesn't work, you blow up and die. Which is a bit of an issue if you think about it. But, you know, ethics, that sort of thing. I mean, come on, it's called progress, everyone. Okay, we're going to control from the capsule. Let's get the engine to, I don't know, this throttle. Take off. Oh my gosh, it's the acceleration. Yeah, it's some high acceleration. BO does have an abort system, yes. It's a solid rocket, isn't it? It's like it's a little thing in the middle. So don't smoke near it. Okay. Well, Starship has to provide for HLS unless something changes, unless they seriously screw it up. So, yeah, we just gotta kind of work with it. And the refueling system, I think, is sloshing last time I heard. So I don't know if that, I don't know. The refueling system I worked with was meshes and capillary motion. So that's what spacecraft use right now. It's just on the scale that they want to do. I think it'd take a day for Starship to refuel. And yes, hybrids can be green. It's just not ones with rubber. Okay, so we've got 12 kilometers. I know one of the original hybrid motors was the XDF, and it was experimental Douglas fir. So, okay, so let's see how fast we're going. I think we need to go a little faster. Oh yeah, we need to get higher thrust. Okay. Oh, blue hybrid. I would have gone with AMROCs. Those also burned rubber. Because, I mean, AMROC invented most of them. So, okay, so we go to 70 kilometers because that's space. There's no organization saying it's not in Kerbal. There we go. Okay, now I think we have enough for landing. So now let's decouple the spacecraft. I'm just gonna... You're just gonna go that way. Bye-bye. We're gonna land it. Blue Origin, they could get into the heavy lift industry. They just gotta have to build their rocket first. That's the thing we're all waiting for. It's gotta be, one thing that New Glenn has is that it's clearly optimized for the geostationary market. So, who knows? And yes, pentaborane, let's use that. The stuff that's like a nerve agent. Okay, so now I get to see if I can land this thing with a suicide burn. Because the capsule is, yep, they're all going to go to an exotic, watery death. That's Oh, this is going into for a watery death too. Yes. Well, luckily this does have protection, so we're good. And I think this one might be Jewish. Oh wait, this is a child-friendly. Wait, is Otreg still on the screen? Otreg shouldn't be on the. Otreg's not on the screen. So they're looking at. Oh yeah, they are looking at fully reusable. I think that's more of an add-on for later on. See, the thing is, if you want to go with a fully reusable vehicle, you have to build LEO infrastructure. And if no one's building LEO infrastructure, because if you do, right, because you could build an entire refueling network for this. You know, it could work, but so I guess Scott Ullman started at the very beginning, or earlier on, because it's Otreg shouldn't be on the screen anymore. Okay. I should have put thrusters on it. Next iteration. This is iterative design right here. Oh gosh. Yep, and the empty crew capsule is going to go into the drink. So this will be a good test, I hope. Okay. Here we go. So we're coming down it. Oh, I'm going faster than the speed of sound. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. I wish I was a crazy billionaire. Then I could build LEO infrastructure. Don't make fun of me for not. That's KER. Is that robotics or is that Kerbal Engineer Redux? My problem is I can't get half of these things to. Oh, that's the capsule. You can see the shadow. Okay, well, we got ourselves into a nice spin. So we don't have TARS to stop this. Oh, let's just. There we go. Oh, that's why it's avionics. Should probably remove those. Oh, geez. This is a much less safe and much more technically complicated suicide burn. Oh, okay. So we just hop it back to the pad. Oh, it landed. Oh yeah, I did hear about the the Zeus. Yeah, I've heard about the nuclear tug. Yeah, I follow Anatoly Zak, Russian space web on the social media, so I keep up to date with all space Russian things. It landed. It works. What's this? Did this fall? No. Okay. Oh, you're stuck. Look at that. We built a reusable booster. We can now colonize Mars. So let's recover this. So now let's build a pop-up vehicle. Let's go ahead. I do this day by day because I want to make this more realistic and that it takes time to do things. It's a weird thing I do. When I do Kerbal Space Program on my own, I always make sure there's at least 7 days between a launch because I'm weird like that. So let's make New Glenn. Well, not New Glenn isn't what Blue Origin's doing, but so let's. Yes. We can make Kerbals multiplanetary. Let's do this. You go away. Let's build. Let's build an attach point. There we go. Payload fairing. I should have done a career, but I'm terrible at career. Let's see. Where's the tank I need? Not you. There's you. Where's the orange one? Oh, we gotta make it white, don't we? No shrouds. Yes, I hit 700. The last time at 100 mark was the last time I did the stream. So I just gotta do this more often. Prediction on Starship's first orbital flight. I don't know. I don't know how many engines they plan on putting on it. They might blow it up. I don't know. These things are hard to tell, and I'm the king of bad timing, so I don't know. Where is my hydrogen engine? Here we go. Scale, go, and then we'll make, let's use this one. Gotta make these things aesthetic. Gemini, then get a tank that's the equivalent. You. Oh, gotta put a controller on it. That would help. Add some batteries. Oh, and the orbital flight is probably not going to happen next month. Or if it is, it's going to be rushed and completely ruined. It seems like they're rushing from what because Elon's talking about how he hasn't like showered, which is really creepy, by the way. But it's also not necessarily orbital. I mean, then again, if you jump, you're technically in an orbital trajectory around the Earth's core. It's just the surface of the Earth is in the way. So where's it doing again? Oh, right. Let's put a satellite on. I'll check the staging later. I say, cursing myself. There's the tanks. Well, I think they're just called astronauts in China. I think we made that up, that they're called taikonauts. Can't be certain. But yeah, the Chinese space station's cool, though. It's just small Mir, or it's sort of Mir. It's interesting. Let's see. I need I just think solar arrays. I get distracted way too easily. Let's put... These look aesthetic. Yes. Give it a control. And I don't know if China will beat us to Mars. It depends on what they're up to. Because I heard they talk about going to Mars in, I think, 2033, but I'm going to press X to doubt on that. Let's get some motors just for control. Okay, well, let's just save. That's good. I have stages. Let's check my staging so I don't embarrass myself like I normally do. Engine. Staging. You should be up top. Yeah, well then again, Mir worked really well for a few years. Okay, everything is all good. Let's go to LKO with this thing. should probably hit the like button on this. There we go. Yeah, yeah, their moon efforts should probably take precedence. And yeah, that's the other thing. Is one of the things people don't realize is to go to Mars or anywhere, you just need a big enough budget. And yes, China could theoretically do it. I just don't think they're ready for it. Actually, if you do squirt another, I think 5 billion into NASA, you could get another SLS per year. I actually did the studies on this. I did this for my senior design project, and they told, because we wanted to do, I think, 4 SLSs a year, and everyone on the committee said, don't. You can't do that. But you could do 2 a year. It's just, you just gotta build the production facilities. Okay, so now we're going really fast. Okay. And we're doing a pop-up trajectory. I'm not insane. Well, I mean, I sort of am, but... Wait, my hair looks like that? Oh, geez. Okie dokie. Oh, okay. Oh, geez. Let's increase thrust. Of course, the fun thing is the Kerbal, you can throttle the engines more than you could in reality. Did I tell this to actually do clamshell deploy or not? I don't remember now. Uh-oh. Well, we'll find out. Yeah, let's do that. Let's build a new production facility. That'll work. That'll get us to the moon in 2024. So let's go for 75. I'm gonna dump the payload fairing. Oh, it is clamshell. Great. I'm increasing drag horribly, aren't I? It's good enough. Oh, we also have to fill in the wetlands at the new launch site, too. I've been hearing about that. Did I tell this to... Oh, I shouldn't have done that. So, okay. See, I don't have realism overhaul either. I tried to get real scale. I was hoping to try to build an SSTO in real scale, but I can't make any of those work. So, okay. We could snort some muskium. It's hypercocaine. That's the other term for it. Okay, so let's stage, we'll decouple. Spin up our hydrogen engine. Oh, tip over. Full throttle. So now we're gonna go on a pop-up trajectory. That's true. Yeah, well, they might also start laying off employees once they make their systems operational. That's usually what happens. That's why in the 70s, in the 70s, there was the big aerospace depression. I will try CCAN once, for the next one. And SSTO in real scale? Yeah, well, real SSTOs are hard. Yeah, but yeah, back in the 70s, there was a big aerospace depression. One of the guys I work with actually was, I think, starting out in his career right around that time. Yeah, if you had an aerospace engineering degree, no one would hire you. That is true. Yeah, N1 actually is a bad example. because N1 was built more like a V2 with the tanks inside the structure. I don't think that's a very efficient. Well, it's the pop-up trajectory. It's not that efficient in reality, but it makes rapid reuse of your first stage really easy because it just comes straight back down to the launch site. Okay, so now we're in a suborbital trajectory, almost to orbit. Oh, look at that! I made it to orbit. Are you gonna try? I should send something to one of Jules' moons instead of faffing about. And yes, I used to have the Orion mod on this, but yeah, Orion's a great way of getting stuff to anywhere. Let's see. Let's dump our payload, and then I'll build when's the Joule window? Oh man, it's an earliest one. It is, oh, let's see, somewhere around here. 215 days. Yeah, well, isn't Arca's thing in the water right now rusting? All right, bye-bye payload. Let's unfurl your solar arrays. And now we can mine Bitcoin in space. Oop, other way, go, there we go. There we go, there we go. And we'll name this vessel Bob. Bob 1. There we go. We have this. Now we'll, of course, do proper disposal of the stage, because that's, you know, of course, the power of hydrogen. I can go anywhere. See, I also learned this from the rocket company too. And we'll deorbit this. Okay. And then let's see how rapidly reusable this is. Let's launch 60 of them. Okay. Come on. Let's watch this. We'll do proper, you know. Yes. So we'll watch this burn up without battery power, because and any batteries to it. And then I'll show you the super heavy lift vehicle I built, and we'll warp to the Joule launch window. Oh yeah, or the nuclear Verne, yeah. I've also heard of that one. Yeah, because my next video, once, well, not the one I'm uploading tomorrow, but in the next video is on space guns, so that'll be fun. Let's see what the heating looks like. Oh, it looks a bit warm. I think this might be a bit warm. Well, yeah, I could always launch the same of them 60 times, yeah. It's overheating. I wonder why. Oh, oops. What's CTF? Is that a cryptocurrency? So, you know, that would be cool if they did a cool, like a haka before they flew. That'd be pretty cool. It'd be easier to launch people into space from, you know, down under, because, you know, it's upside down. Way easier. Why aren't you burning up? It's almost close to burning up. That's true. Oh, there goes the engine. It's partially reusable. If I put parachutes on, I could reuse the tanks. The ones that have, experienced extreme thermal stress. I also moved. That's why you'll notice I have my whiteboard here instead of my bookcase, because that's in a... Oh yeah, chlorine. I looked at, yeah, for a video I was going to do on space tourism. I was going to start off by designing a 3-stage rocket powered by chlorine trifluoride and gasoline, just to mess with people. This is reusable. I got, it's smart reuse. I got the important parts. I got the avionics. Okay, so the Joule window, why is my, oh, that's probably yeah, that's Duolingo. It's gonna kill me. So let's change the window just so I can see what the bet, not 23. Okay, so that is day 218, so that is 199 days from now. Okay. So let's warp to another day because it's a thing. Okay, so let's put something, oops. So let's put something around, okay, let's do, I can't, I'm not good at this. This is why I'm not a live streamer, because this is weird. I'm better with a script. That's true. Okay, so this is based on my SSTO. So let's build a third version of it. So I gotta get to the Joule. What was the Joule burn? What was the delta V needed for that? So, oops, backspace. So my ejection burn needs, let's give it 3 because I suck at this. So 3 kilometers a second, okay. I can do this. I can do it with this. What's this way? So this is 217. Let's take you off. So this weighs 12 tons. Yeah, that's easy. So I'll give this not an IUS, but equivalent of the inertial upper stage for orbital insertion. This will have about 1 kilometer a second, delta V. Where's my favorite tank? This is my favorite tank. We'll give this. I need 4 of them, excuse me. There we go. I think, isn't BRF5, oh gosh, that sounds like something to run away from really fast, if I'll be honest. Okay, so let's give this. Look, I try to build these aesthetically as well, just so we're clear. I'll give this little controller just for my posterity. Batteries. I'm just going to do a test flight of this thing. I think aerospikes are actually more efficient. Yeah, but I suck at this game. I can accidentally build an SSTO, but I can't. It'll give this ion engine for orbital insertion. It's a good ion engine. How much power does this need? 15. This needs 30. Yeah. It's the bromine in there. That's the stuff. This is argon. All right. This needs 30 a second. Okay, it's argon, right? I'm not hallucinating? Good. Actually, let's do this aesthetically. So we think. This will have about 1 kilometer a second. Yeah. have about a kilometer a second. I'm used to building them with the square. Sorry, I'm used to building these with cubes. Put this cube on, so we gotta do it. RCS. Yeah, last night when I was doing this on my own for fun, I put something around Moho with this kind of setup. SRBs can be reused. That is quite true. They have been, sort of. You can use their shells. Let's see, let's give this a control unit. That's not the right size. Let's kind of go. Give it, I'm gonna have to put, oh wait, I gotta give it a comms dish. That's not very aesthetic. I give this some, let's give it solar arrays. Where are the solar arrays I like? I can never find them. There we go. Wait, how much do these give? Because I need, yeah, that'll work. Oh yeah, let's put some aluminum in it. You know, get some alumazine going. Actually, I'll be talking about alumazine when I talk about space guns. Okay, we've got battery. That's true. Sending them to Mormons is not a good idea. Oh god, this must be painful for everyone to watch. You know, one of my original ideas for making a YouTube channel was actually to play video games, but make it so everyone hates it. Because if you've ever watched like a Let's Play of these things, sometimes you get frustrated watching the person. So I figured I could make my entire channel based off that frustration. I will give this, what's a good, we need a magnetometer. It's good science you can get off there. We'll give it a thermometer, negative gravioli detector. What's another piece of science I could bring along that doesn't weigh much? I'll give it let's give it a telescope. So it can take pictures of the detectors. Make it smaller. There we go. Let's save this thing. Okay. So this looks like a spacecraft for exploring. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flight test this thing to see if how much it can do. Struts, because, oh, or Scott Manley. I haven't watched Scott Manley in a while, so I can't really say much. I used to watch his Kerbal stuff because that's fun. Okay, so we have gotta check my staging. You're right. You're not right. Is that the state? What's this? Exactly. The most infuriating thing to watch. Okay. This is the ion engine. You go up top. Yes. Not you. What are you? Oh, you're probably for the IUS. Okay. So then that's you. You light, you open up. You light with these. Perfect. Okay, so let's see how this pig works. And then, so let's see. I do have 2 videos for us to watch, by the way. So let's see. That's a bit high thrust. Pitch over a little. Oh, there we go. Oh, and by the way, just in case everyone gets... Oh, over under super heavy, just exploding on the pad. Oh, I think it'll take off. Oh gosh, why am I going off trajectory? I look at my chat one more minute. Yeah, but see, because here's the thing, I have, because Face of Sarcasm is my brother, if you don't know. Okay, I should have. This is all part of the plan. We're exploring the ocean. Oh no. This works swimmingly. Okay, so we're gonna explore the VAB again. I think I went too fast. Yeah, so, okay. Maybe if I give it more gimbling power. What's the Mars timeline? Oh, yeah, that's the video we're going to do next. I'm going to test this, and then we'll time warp to the Joule window. I'll send this to Joule, and then we'll watch this and make fun of it. Some guy called the Martian Colonist talked about this. He's part of Mars 1 back in the day, so... Okay, so we'll turn over just a little bit, so when it falls back on the pad, it's not that bad. Maybe if I gave this thing solids and air lit it like a Titan 4, this would be easier. Exactly. Yep. Throttle down. Oh. So let's gain some altitude and then pitch over. Yeah, the Mars timeline needs money. That's the problem. And to get money, you need political will. And to get political will, you have to shoot the president, apparently. In a video game, of course. Oh, this thing's just cooking. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. Oh, we lost it again. Nope. I'm gonna give this boosters, so I don't have to. Mars 1 is yeah, Mars 1 is. I remember in high school because they did Channel 1. They talked about that. The earliest Mars plans were 1981, based on the von Braun vision. And it's a good thing we didn't go in the mid-70s because the crew might have been roasted by. So I want to make this Kalis 3 by increased solar activity in that decade. So you're gonna go away. I'm gonna give this thing some big old solids because I suck at this. Oh, let's give it 4. Why not? This is my rocket. It's my rocket. Well, the problem with Korolev is he shouldn't have gone to the gulag. Let's just barbarian this thing. I'm of course referring to the. I think the Titan, the Martin Marietta barbarian design, not the McDonnell Douglas barbarian. Oh, this is the wrong folder. Jeez. Yes, it's slowly turning into S. Well, this is bigger SLS now. Okay, what's this? These should not be separated when they light. These should light. Oh wait, no, this is supposed to air light. Let's put some struts on so they don't. Wobble around. Okay. Where is, okay. So you should go here. No, you shouldn't. Yes, you should. You'll go here. Okay. This is going to be a disaster, I know it. Because it's going to have a lot of thrust. Yeah. Okay. This looks kind of like the Conestoga 1620. Oh, I should put more straps on. Oh, geez. Oh, this thing's just going. Oh, geez. Yeah, this thing can go to Joule all right. Oh, no. Oh, and it's going to flip over because I angled over to get those engines going for more power. Oh, no. Oh, jeez. Okay. Let's take a deep breath. It's going to tip over again, isn't it? Okay, we think we're on a safe suborbital trajectory. Yes, we are. We're going to throttle this thing down. The N1 abort system did... Actually, I think it did save one of the Zond capsules. Okay. So let's see where we're going now. Okay. Yeah, so this is overpowered. Let's dump the fairing. Oh, geez. Oh no. Ah, we're lucky real spacecraft can't do this. Be a heck of a ride, though. Okay. So I'm gonna revert flight to make this, to add straps. So let's take off one of these. Good. No, struts, go back on. You're supposed to be... Okay. 4, and we'll put another series of struts on. Why are you doing this? Okay. Now we'll launch, and then so I'll launch this. Yes, that's Russian engineering for you. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think this one needs to be reusable. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to tighten for this thing. So go up. Go over a little bit so it doesn't go onto the pad when the engines fail. That's true. Oh, it's going to tip over again because I'm an idiot. No, it's not. Ha 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 ha. So we'll do a main engine start. Oh, it's going to catch it. Yes. Perfect staging. That was all part of the plan. I've done this in my head a million times, obviously. It's going to fall over again, isn't it? Yes, it is. I need to add more gimbaling on these. That's the problem. There's a jet flying over me. Okay, so let's get this turning over. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Titan. Yeah, actually, I have footage of Titan 3 launches that do this. Yeah, my next video has some of that. It's got the MOL test launch too. I found some. Let's see what our trajectory looks. That's a good trajectory, isn't it? Yes, vibrations do have to be considered. Yeah. If you ask any shuttle astronaut, the shuttle was a very shaky and violent ride right up until stage separation. Then it was smooth. The SRB separation, excuse me. Okay, let's go over. So what's our altitude? Oh, okay, go higher. I am very good at that. I have a degree, everybody. Oh. That's true. Yeah, I've seen that capsule too. It's the one at the Air Force Museum at Kennedy. Let's pitch over. Okay, so we're just gonna burn this thing out. Oh, of course it found. Please someone didn't take off solar arrays. Good. Good. Cool. Yeah, that's what I've heard. That could also be code word for, we don't want to spend this much money in it. Well, this thing might go interplanetary on its own. Or oh jeez. See, this is why I want to get one of those, like different scalings, because I can I can do this. Well, it works. Yeah, this one's based off the Centaur G. Okay, well, let's just see where this thing can talk. Oh, God. Oh, no. Well, I think this thing can make it to Jewel, all right. I just gotta aim it right. Oops. That works. Well, let's see what kind of course correction I can do. Let's do an out of plane maneuver. Let's just see what this pig can do. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see this has 3 kilometers a second in it. I don't think it does. I think this has, at most 2. Littering? It's going to deep space. It's not littering. Oh, I didn't put batteries on this one. Oh, yes, I did. I'm an idiot. That's why. Oh, good. Air conditioning. Yes, of course I went the wrong way. I was just testing this. This is just a performance test of this. Let's light this pig. Oh, it's gonna burn for 6 minutes. Hopefully. Okay. Yeah, a stage that big would cause Kessler syndrome. Actually, I do think this might be able to do 3 kilometers a second at delta V. Yes, it is part of interplanetary communications. Yeah, that's the plan. It's a giant carrier pigeon. Telecommunications is the work of the devil. Do I really look that? Oh wow, this is really bright. I keep forgetting that. I do this. Is it gonna get darker? Can you see it? Oh, I won't forget. I have spare solar arrays right there. Oh, that's now it's too dark. I don't know anything about physics warp. I'm sorry. Again. But hey, that's the power of hydrogen for you. This thing can do it. That was something about. I heard something about Titan. Yeah. Oh, it was. Huh. With the formulation. Oh, well. It's a shame they didn't apply it to SRBs. Look at this thing go. Yep, so we're going to do an out of the ecliptic mission without doing a flyby of Joule. Well, look at that. Oh. Alt plus. It's just. I'm just. Or is it Control? Oh no, it's doing it. Yeah, I know that feeling. This is going way faster. Well, now I can. Man, I could have used this last night when I had a 20-minute burn of the ion engine, getting orbit of Moho. Okay. Well, you look at that. It's going to have spare propellant. That's a... That was intentional. I think Tweescale does the breaking of real plume, because it does this to me all the time. Yeah. So now we're just doing the Ulysses mission. That's what I'll name this probe, and then we'll go to Joule, and then I'll talk about going to Mars. Oh. Look, these engines can do great restarts. And I still have fuel left. Look at that. So let's separate. I'm going to dump the spacecraft there. And then we're going to just burn retrograde. Does it have thrusters? I don't put thrusters on it. Simply don't. That's a passivation burn. We're good. So I'll just turn you on and just leave you. Let's go to Joule. Yep, let's do Joule. Okay. So now we have time warp to day 218. Okay. Let's do this. Chat rate is 2. I don't know what that means. Okay, let's do some time warp. I'd say let's wait, but you're 20 seconds behind me. So see, I only make rockets in KSP. I'm an aerospace engineer who doesn't know anything about airplanes. Ah, okay. Okay, day 218. That's when we'll launch. Go a little ahead. There we go. Okay. That's true. I don't think I've ever had that because I've only ever done this twice. So let's do our Joule Direct mission, which we know this thing can do. Okay. Well, let's do SS. Let's do this. All the vehicle. I have struts. I have struts on one side. Oh, well. I mean, come on, saves weight. So we'll put this here. We'll light up our main SOPs. Lift off. Now all you have to do is replicate the flight profile. I will be dumping the core stage before it goes interplanetary. Engine start. Oh, it's all shaky. SRB burnout, separation. Don't fall over, don't tip over. 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 There we go. That's a good rocket. That's a good rocket. And this thing is cooking. Yeah, the problem with air launching stuff is you're limited by the size of your airplane. It's great for launching crew because if you need a board, you just dump the capsule and drop it. That's what Air Launch was doing. That's what Air Launch LLC was planning on doing. I think they were the original commercial crew services too. There we go. So let's get this thing up to probably, oh, don't tip over. Oh, I so suck at this. Okay, let's see. So we'll dump the payload fairing. Separation bounces off because, you know, that's a great way of saying, how do you do? I've lost so many spacecraft that way. I tried to build a replica of NLS because that had this for the payload fairing, I think. I think that was just the stage, but it kept blowing it up. They do send up satellites, but with air launching, it's for a niche market. You can't build like a Saturn V that you can air. Well, you could. It's just you have to build a really, really big airplane for it. Okay, so I think we're almost in orbit with this. Oh, it's careening out of control. Okay, so we'll go to, let's say, 300 kilometers with this, and then we'll dump the core. Okay, let's dump the core. Look at all, see, it could land itself with this. I'm not going to, but. So let's get up to orbit with this, and we'll do the trajectory. Go. We're all good. Tell Dan Ryan, I think I may have heard about that one. Whenever because when I look up SSTO designs, because I like reading about them, I keep half of them are space planes, and some of them are air launched, some of them aren't. There was one study with Bruce Dunn involved that used hydrogen peroxide and JP8. I was looking for that for the video on SSTOs, and I couldn't find it again. Because I told myself, oh, I can find it again. Yeah, you need something really big to launch a Saturn V from the sky. I wouldn't want to fly. Oh, that would be a sight to see. Oh, I can. Okay. Black Horse. Yeah, that. I was thinking of another one though. Yeah, Black Horse. I've heard of that one. Because it'd be like the SR-71. It'd take off, it'd be refueled, then go to at least do something like that. Is that the one you're thinking of? There's another one I found that looked more like the Delta Clipper, but okay. Jewel. Here. 2. Plot it. All right. Oh, we missed it. Oh well. First, let's do some ejection angles. Perfect. That gives us 1 orbit around. So let's make Jewel our target. Well, there was another one though. It was probably more of just a thought experiment than an actual study. Oh, I could have gone also to Duna, I guess. Oh well. Cool. Oh, yeah, my Centaur can do this. This way, no. Oh, gosh. Oh, nope. Just gotta slow myself down. Oh, other way. That's the one. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, the H02 kerosene. Why not I can't make RO work. I'm gonna try it. CCAN was recommended to me. Is it getting me closer? Is it getting me closer? Ah. You know, all you're screaming at me for doing a bad doing... Oh, doesn't make it now. I will do a mid-course correction. That makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna do a mid-course correction with this after I do the ejection burn. Oh, this is, okay. So let's see, that's gonna take about a minute or two. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, 5 minutes. So let's see. Slider up, see how long it takes. Yep, okay. The engine's good. So now I can alt forward? Oh, this is just witchcraft. Should have started the burn earlier. Oh well. It's too late now. We're committed. Yep. I hope Artemis succeeds. I live down here. I live down in Huntsville. I want it to succeed because that means that there might be jobs for me in the near future. Artemis might have a few problems with HLS. It might. We'll see. Okay, so we got good. Oh, look at that. Okay, so we hit that. Now let's put another. Let's do another maneuver, a mid-course correction. Where's this one? Where's my trajectory? Ah, crap. I'll turn you off. Well, this is just gonna go. So it actually hits the right plane for Joule. Because right now we're gonna go into a polar orbit, which is not good. Why is it blue? Why is what blue? The exhaust? The exhaust is blue because it's got hydrogen in it. That's the wrong way. This. That. Nope, other way. Oh gosh, I suck at this. Other way. Yeah, it's the thing is, yeah, the Starship might be an issue just because it's, you know, Starship's a, you know, of course, like you read the stuff because the GAO just said Starship, yes. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. I got to make a maneuver node. Okay. Well, Bop's pretty interesting, but I think let me see if I can do a gravity capture with this. So let's set. Oh well, Tylo's pretty. Okay, let's do Lathe. Oh, there we go. Let's do that. Green is a good exhaust. I just, you know, yeah, green, yeah. I should have added an M drive. Yes. Oh well. Well, the problem is, you know, the magnetic field. Okay. So I got our correction maneuver in. What makes a pink exhaust? I think argon makes purple. But yeah, peroxide kerosene burns clear. Because if you look at pictures of Black Arrow, it looks like it's just going up. Oh, gotta go back to it. Okie dokie. I do have power, good. Whee! Okay. Well, I'm not in Russia, so I can't give you an RD-270. I'm sorry. This burn's going good. Of course, the BA2 engines burned kind of orange, but I think that's because they were ablative. Let's leave it here. Let's dump the Centaur. Cool. Let's make the Centaur just go away. Space Coach. I think I've seen that name somewhere. Probably on the Hobby Space site, whenever I go looking for information, because it's got a bunch of those old, because that's where I found the old Kistler brochure on Hobby, I think it's Hobby Space. I know the name. Is Pete Conrad involved in Space Coach? Or that might have been DCX. Okay, so let's name this. We shall name this vessel Galileo. Plus, this is an IUS. It's not actually. We have our solar arrays. We'll just extend the rest of them. Or I might be thinking of Space Bus. I know there's the Space Cub idea. Okay, so let's take a look at Joule. There we go. I'm not gonna hit it. I think I gotta go. Is my RCS working? Were these argon thrusters? No, it's because it's a liquid fuel and oxidizer tank, not an ion tank. It does, yeah, that does sound familiar. So I got the wrong propellant tanks on this. Because I'm dumb. Well, we'll kick it into orbit, I think, at least. I'll go another way. Oh, it's not going to hit. Crap. Well, oh, yeah, Bigelow Aeros. Actually, one of my classmates ended up working there for about a week. Well, I got a flyby, but I don't have propellant because I'm an idiot. Oh, My IUS can put it into orbit. There we go. We'll just do a flyby of Lathe. There we go. This can do it. Okay, well, let's time warp to this. I can warp to this maneuver, can't I? Can I auto warp? Oh, that's sad. Okay. Well, let's go for the long haul. Let's do this. I could do a. Oh, if anything, then. Yeah, I'll have to look at this. I'll have to look at the space coach. That's as fast as we can go. Wow. Wow, we have 3 years to go. Oh, this is exciting. Well, so for some updates, since there's 15 or 16 of you watching, this says 16, that says 16, that one says 15. So I have a video coming out tomorrow. It's nothing technical. It's just making sure I can make videos still. The Know Your Rocket for OTRAG has been written. I'll look for, Centauri Dreams, I'll look there. So, yeah, the Know Your Rocket for OTRAG has been written. I am making some renders for that right now. Well, not right now, but I will be. That one's going to be a bit longer than normal because, oh, is my signal even, uh-oh. Oh, wait. I gotta open up my communications antenna. I missed the window for that, but okay. There we go. Now we have signal. Yeah, well, there was the Ariane launch yesterday. That worked fine. So we'll get, because the big problem with Ariane 5 right now is there was a little extra pressure in some of the areas on the fairing that normally aren't a problem because the spacecraft aren't that sensitive, but because, you know, James Webb is, you know, fragile, it might have damaged the heat shielding. I think it was the heat shielding or one of the shades that was supposed to unfurl. So we're going to see that, and then there's another launch next month that will confirm if it works or not. Okay, so I got communications. Let's go back to time warp. So hopefully, there's going to be. What's MPD? Oh gosh, there's so many acronyms. Oh, okay. I see. It took me a second. This is why I write scripts. I don't do things live. Oh, now, okay, yeah, I'm very dumb. Let's make it, oh man, can you imagine working on a real space mission that takes 3 years to get there? Ugh. I should really set my air conditioner to something below 80. So the centaur has... Oh, man. I still get terrible... Look at this. I get terrible signal out here. No bathroom breaks. I think I'm gonna go till maybe 10-ish. I forgot to get myself a beverage though. Oh well. Oh good, we only have a little over a year and a half left. See, this is the fun part because I'm gonna get distracted by reading something, and I'm gonna miss the window again because I've done this before. Am I in the? Oh man, I hope I have enough signal. Yeah, that's true. You know what's funny is I'm an office person, but I don't drink coffee. I've only ever drank coffee once. Okay, office is a bit of a stretch. It's a cube, but well, it was a cube. Oh my gosh, are we there yet? My God. So I'm guessing this is when that comes into, yep. It comes into range. Okie dokie. Here we come. Yeah. I think I'm close enough where I can get close to time warp. Oh, crap. Let's focus on the maneuver. No. Let's maneuver to... Whee! That's true. Oh, we're almost there. We're almost there. This is mesmerizing. Oh, the anxiety's killing me. Oh, look at that. Jewel, let's get my, let's... Okay, so let's get ourselves in the proper attitude. So get the tank pressures right. This is a pressure-fed stage. In my imaginations, it's pressure-fed with a specific impulse of 345 seconds. So it's LOX methane, I guess. Or, kerosene can get that high. It's LOX propane. There we go. Propane's fun. Quick save. What's wrong with... I guess I gotta download a newer version of Kerbal. It's good. Wait, oh no. Okay, so I can wait. Role-playing rocketry? Yes, I am. Let's wait. Okay, so let's see. So this will put us in an orbit that will fly by Lathe. I wonder if I can get into orbit around it with what's left of the engine. Oh, that is quite true. And hello. See, I'd love to see a LOX propane system. Wait, Orbex is building one. They're using biopropane. And of course, like a real spacecraft, you can't see the plume, not because real plumes is funny. Look at this. Perfect mission planning here. Except for the missing xenon. Oh. So I think we should be flying by Lathe now. In an orbit. So let's warp there. Well, be a heck of a view to get. Whee! Oh, yeah. Let's see if we can get to orbit. No, there's no way I can get into orbit. Not with this. Oh well, we'll get a good flyby out of it. Yeah, so we're not going to make it. What did we do? Well, we got ourselves an orbit that'll fly by Lathe a few times before the spacecraft dies. Ethane NO2. Yeah, that'd be a good one to see too. I think there's been some. I know there's been some ground tests of that. Well, it worked, sort of. So now this is just debris. And this is a real spaceship that has the wrong propellant. Oh well. All right, so we've done something to Joule. Yeah, I'm not going to aero brake. It's a bit late for that. Okay, so we're going to watch some I'm going to say mean things about people now. Or wait a minute for everyone to catch up for me to say mean things. So we're going to do what's called the Mars mission update by a guy called Martian. Garvey used ethane and LOX, and then they switched to propylene when Vector started. I checked this when you asked last time. Now, and Vector is doing something. So let's go back, and we're gonna dunk on some people now. Okay, so we'll quit the main menu. H2O2 should be mixed with something? It's fine in high enough concentrations. Yeah. Just to show off, I'm going to show you the thing I did, just so I can show you that I've done good replicas of things. This is my own personal one that I'm doing for fun, so don't judge me. Where is this? Made a Titan 3. Titan 3E, look. Okay, it looks more like a Titan 4, but I got the Centaur, oh look, that looks familiar, doesn't it? See? It's an okay replica. None of you went to law school, so you can't judge me. See, look. I'll do that next live stream. I'll make Energia. I'll do that when I do Know Your Rocket on Energia. I'll get that. I'll see if I can get that Russ Kaya song and use that. Now I want to dunk on people. See, I've made replicas. I once made a Titan 4 replica that was yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna go to YouTube. We're gonna quit. Yes, quit. Okay, so bye-bye KSP. I'm gonna do what's called the Mars mission update. Yes, I did search for this, don't judge me. Okay, closed captioning is on. We're gonna turn on the fair use OTRAG. You're supposed to turn on. Why aren't you turning on? There we go. So the stream should be seeing OTRAG. Too many mods. Oh, jeez. So we can all see the OTRAG. I can see it on my laptop, so I think we're good. Now, let's just make sure. Good. Yeah, he just has a name here, so I don't not dox him. So this is Dr. Ryan McDonald. Yes, I am very meta. So this is Dr. Ryan McDonald. He has a PhD. I've actually read part of his thesis. It's about using James Webb to look at exoplanet atmospheres. It's really interesting. This guy was also part of Mars One and has defended it. So let's make this. Let's see how. Why would I want English United Kingdom? What? No. English American. Oh, it's the only way they give me. So everything's gonna be wrong. Yeah. Oh, and this OTRAG is the 256 unit 4-ton version. So let's watch this. Wait, what's? Oh, well, that's cool. Oh man. Okay. So I'm gonna hit play. We'll see if this is good enough speed. Okay, this guy needs to go faster. Okay, already we're off to a bit of a bad start. We don't know enough. I always take the stance we don't know enough. Oh, and is the sound good for what you've all heard? Yes, your again's pretty neat. I'll cover it in Know Your Rocket eventually. We'll just if the sound is too bad, tough. I mean, this is at 1.5 speed, by the way. Yes. Wait, is that a real Wait, was that a real video, or was that just concept art made by a fan? Wait, no sound? There should be sound. Uh-oh. Oh, what happened to the... Oh, no. Let's just device. Okay, so if I'm just gonna hit play and test this on OBS. Just give me a second.
A sustainable future beyond the Earth. In today's Mars mission update, we'll be taking a detailed look at the fully reusable spacecraft poised to send astronauts to the Moon and Mars, SpaceX's Starship. We'll cover the development of the first Starship prototypes, the key milestones along the way.
Can you hear it now? Give me 1 second. I think wait for it to catch up. We got good? Okay, I fixed it. Yay! It doesn't require me screwing around for 15 minutes and discovering I did it wrong. Cool. Oh, wait, that's the wrong thing. Let's do this. All right. So this is at 1.5 speed. So I've watched a few of this guy's videos. Okay, skipped through them, but...
And what to expect next from Starship flights later this year. We'll also recap the latest updates on NASA's Artemis program. And finally, we'll go over the 3 robotic missions that recently arrived at the Red Planet.
Why is this 45? Oh my god. I say no, that's criticizing. Okay.
SpaceX's Starship will be the world's first fully reusable orbital class rocket, designed to...
Wait a moment. I've heard this before.
Realize the vision of building a sustainable civilization on Mars. Starship's ability to transport large numbers of people and cargo is set to revolutionize how we access space. The Starship system is comprised of 2 parts: a 9-meter wide upper stage spacecraft called Starship and a lower stage booster called Super Heavy. Towering above its surroundings, the 120-meter tall Starship.
I don't care about
testing
this part.
of Starship prototypes. The Starship hardware program began in earnest in late 2018 with the construction of a scaled-down
Where's
demonstration
the Mars
vehicle called
stuff?
Starhopper at SpaceX's Boca Chica site in South Texas.
Oh my
Starhopper
gosh.
underwent a series of short test flights, or HOPs, culminating in a 150-meter test flight in orbit.
What's this?
Reducing the thrust and causing an explosive...
Hey, wait, that's green. That's not good. Now remember, put your tray tables up in the upright position, and you know. Is my neighbor mowing his lawn? It's 8:50. What's wrong with you? Is this revenge? Oh, jeez. Okay. Okay, we're gonna get to the Mars colonization bit because this part's like. Just want to make sure I can see it. Okay.
Impact on contact with
Okay,
the
yes, we know the high
its
value.
fiery demise.
Okay.
By its very nature, every time something goes wrong, it provides valuable lessons that can rapidly be implemented.
That was a pretty exciting thing to see blow up. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Starship, but I mean, it does have a nice aesthetic. That's what happens when someone was using their phone, or they brought in fluids above 3 ounces. Can you imagine the nightmare it would be to check for like the TSA to go onto this? Oh man.
In the next prototype, ultimately, Starship will be a much safer and more reliable vehicle if all the failure modes are discovered and corrected at this stage.
Wait, it's CGI now. The conspiracy theorists were right. Oh no. We should extend astronauts so they can go on the ballpark of Mars. Yeah, that's one of the things that I think we should really use Gateway for, because Gateway is kind of deep space, but not deep space, you know? If anything does go wrong, my air conditioner's alive. We can, if something does go wrong, we could get them back in time, but...
It flies regularly. While SN8 through SN11 were conducting flight tests, SpaceX was hard at work preparing for the next phase in the program.
So apparently this was their mock-up for their lunar lander. That's what I've been hearing, which makes sense, because it's white. Yeah, like the moon. This is a neat setup. I'm not against it, but of course my question is, if they want to land this onto an alien body, you think they should probably try to decontaminate it? Something like the moon, of course. You remind me of this guy I know. Uh-oh. Oh no.
Shortly after SN8's flight, a new test tank called SN7.2 underwent cryogenic pressure testing in late January and early February of 2021. SN7.2 differs from previous test tanks and full Starship prototypes in that it uses previous launches. It successfully ascended to its target altitude, transitioned into the belly flop maneuver, and flipped.
See, that is a heck. See, that's the thing. This is very pretty. I'm not like. See, hurricanes will hit Boca Chica when SpaceX needs to do something, and then Elon will throw a Twitter tantrum about how not being able to control the climate. Oh no. Uh-oh. Yeah.
Vertical. Under the power of 2 Raptor engines, SN-15 gently touched
Oh,
down
there it
on the
goes.
landing pad,
See,
becoming
that
the
was
first
neat.
Starship prototype to successfully survive a high-altitude flight test. A small fire near the base of the vehicle.
See, this is the other thing is, when we talk about using this as an airplane, you'd have to build infrastructure so people could get out. Because everyone's going to be up, here? And, most aircraft have fun slides. But, I don't think that would work as well. That's why I don't see this as being a, thing.
Following the landing was soon extinguished. After several weeks of inspections, SN-15 was rolled back to the production site on May 26th and mounted on a display stand. So what
Okay,
was the
we know
Starship
this part.
program?
Where's the Mars
The
colonization?
successful flight of SN-15 concluded. Orbital starships will host 3 sea-level Raptor engines and 3 vacuum.
I envy all the people who can make these. Because I can barely make, this OTRAG, the OTRAG here on the screen has taken me, in order to open it up, my computer has to die. And then to render an image of it, my computer has to die.
Vacuum-optimized Raptor engines. The vacuum Raptor engine is under active development, with the first full-duration test firing.
And fun fact for everyone, well, not for everybody, because I think Randy knows this, but this site right here was originally built for the Beale BA-2. Elon bought it off Andy Beale for cheap, which, it's a shame. But hey, good for him. Yeah.
Having occurred in September 2020, orbital starships will also have an array of hexagonal tiles on the
Being
belly of the
attacked
vehicle
by
to survive the extreme
hexagons.
temperatures
Oh,
of
I don't
re-entry.
care about
SpaceX
this
has
part.
already tested small quantities of
everyone
these
knows
tiles
this
on
bit.
high-altitude Starship flights,
What's
with each
that?
Starship prototype having more heat partial propulsive return coming down in the Gulf of Mexico 8 minutes after launch. Meanwhile,
Oh yeah, I heard about, yeah, that's the plan, right?
the Starship will attain a near orbital velocity,
Wait, why is there
travel
ice
3/4
still
of the
on
distance
it?
around the planet and re-enter
Oh wait,
Earth's
never mind, I've
atmosphere.
seen pictures of this. It's true. Oh. That's true.
Should it survive re-entry, the Starship will attempt a soft ocean landing 90 minutes after launch, splashing
That's
down
really
around
nice. I
100
don't
kilometers
care.
from the Hawaiian island of Kauai. The main object pads. The precise launch date of the orbital flight is not yet set in stone, but SpaceX on a
What's
future
this?
timeline that an orbital
Okay.
launch
Orbital flight. That's realistic. October sounds pretty realistic. When was this? This was from June, yeah. That sounds pretty realistic for this. I know they're building the launch tower and the FAA doesn't like it.
launch will occur around October of this year, though a delay of a few more months is certainly plausible. This is consistent with the timeframe listed in a recent request SpaceX submitted to the Federal Communications Commission for the orbital test flight. If you have any thoughts on this timeline, which I stress is speculative, or perhaps you're watching in the future and want to tell me
I
how
am
wrong
watching
that
in the
was, please do
future.
comment down below. Once
I
orbital
wanna
flights
comment
commence,
though.
achieving SpaceX's long-term vision of multiple Starship flights per day will require another key innovation.
Oh, multiple flights per day. Again, I've talked about this already. That's true. Multiple flights a day requires payloads for multiple flights a day. And we're also assuming that if we have multiple flights a day style launches, you wouldn't be building, 1,000-ton launchers or I think there was a 700-ton launcher I saw with its LOX hydrogen second stage and LOX propane first stage. I found a study for that once. It was for the SPSs. So
Sea launch platforms. Sea launch platforms can more easily accommodate a 30-kilometer exclusion zone
That is
around
quite
a super
true.
heavy launch required due to the acoustic energy of up to
And of
30
course, since this is the Gulf of Mexico, everything's dead there already from, oil spills. Well, magical thing SpaceX is doing is that they're making them all kind of, That is true, too. Yeah, personally, I think SpaceX is in the we have to keep raising money phase. But
32 Raptor engines, allowing for more frequent launches. Sea platforms may also catch returning super heavy boosters.
so this is right here is the thing that I think is the dumbest. It assumes that they'll have pinpoint accuracy every time, which we all know they won't, right? No airplane lands exactly the same spot every time. Even Falcon 9s don't land in the same spot every time. I don't know why they think they can do this with an even bigger system. This will be in criticizing Starship Part 3. which is coming out in December.
Allowing rapid turnaround for the next flight. In August 2020, SpaceX purchased
saw
two
this.
retired
Yes,
Orioles,
okay.
renamed Phobos,
That's nice.
forms currently under development.
Oh god, no,
cancelling
not
the
this.
hypersonic
No,
travel
we're not going to touch this with a hot
For the last 2
bunker.
decades, the nexus of human spaceflight has been the International Space
That's
Station,
true.
or ISS. Assembled between 1998 and 2011, the ISS
They
emerged
just got the new module this week, sort of. Yeah, I know Boca Chica, because Boca Chica was originally planned for Falcon and Falcon Heavy launches, not Super Heavy, which I think SpaceX is trying to skirt around and saying, no, actually it was. Yeah, they could buy, I think the Zenit platform's already been bought by somebody, and they can't use it for sea launching, I think.
from a collaboration between the United States, Russia, Europe, Japan, and Canada. The ISS is principally a scientific research platform orbiting the Earth at an altitude
we know
of about
this.
400
Okay.
kilometers. Human crews have continually operated the ISS since 2000, with visits from over 240
Yes,
people
okay,
from
that's
19
right.
nations. Although many early missions to the
Yeah, hey, that
ISS
looks
used
familiar.
NASA's space shuttle, Russia's Soyuz, became the only way for astronauts to reach the ISS for the
Okay, we
text,
know.
and eventually with Boeing's Starliner. Since then,
Oh, I
two
was hoping to, I should cover a launch in a live stream. Not the Starliner one, because that's when I'm working, but...
returned to Earth in August 2020. There have been 2 further Crew Dragon launches.
Yes,
On
we know.
November 16, 2020,
Okay, where's
Crew
the
One
Mars
mission
bit?
launched the first space station crew rotation from the United States since the retirement of the space shuttle. On board were NASA astronauts Shannon Walker, Victor Glover, and Mike Hopkins, along. The Artemis program is NASA's flagship initiative to return
this
humanity
part.
to the lunar surface with the Artemis 1 mission. This will see the first launch of NASA's new heavy lift rocket,
That's
the
true.
Space Launch System, or SLS. The SLS will launch an uncrewed Orion capsule to the moon. During this 1-month mission, Orion will fly multiple times around the moon, coming as close as 100 kilometers above the surface before returning to the Earth. Preparations for Artemis 1 have made significant progress in the last few
I didn't watch this live. What's this? Yes. Hey, at least now Nauka or Nauka can't do any more damage. Unreliability. Hey, that sounds vaguely familiar with the rotors. I don't think that'd scale too well.
months. On March 18th, the first SLS core stage successfully completed an 8-minute
Oh,
hot fire
yeah.
test, simulating the
Oh,
flight profile
look
for
at
launch.
that.
Following this test, the Artemis 1 SLS core stage arrived at the Kennedy Space Center.
Okay.
6 weeks later, on June 11th, the first SLS core stage was flipped
Look
vertically
at that
vehicle
thing
assembly
go.
line. The following day, the core stage was slotted between the 2 solid rocket side boosters. If all goes well, the Artemis 1 SLS and Orion capsule will be fully assembled in August, ready for a fueling test
I
on
know
Pad
this
39B in September. The official target launch date for Artemis 1 is
Yeah.
currently no earlier than November this year. But given the remaining work to prepare the SLS and Orion for this flight, a more realistic estimate would be around March
Oh, okay, March 22, that's... Okay, you've been reading Eric Berger, I think. No, go.
of 2022. The second mission in the Artemis program will be Artemis 2, the first mission with crew.
Yes, we know.
Artemis 2
Okay,
will see 4
Jesus
astronauts embark on a 10-day free return trajectory around the moon to test around the moon, where it will wait for up to 100 days in lunar orbit. Meanwhile, 4 astronauts will launch on the SLS
Oh,
towards
God,
the
I
moon.
don't
Once they
care.
arrive, the Orion capsule
What's
will
the
dock with
Mars
lunar station.
bit?
October 2020, NASA selected SpaceX for a $50 million contract to demonstrate the transfer of 10 tons of cryogenic liquid oxygen between tanks on a Starship vehicle before the end of 2022. This will establish the underlying technology required.
That might not happen. Oh, we could probably make it with an expendable Starship system just to demonstrate it, but... Yeah. Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
Required for missions to both the Moon and Mars with Starship. In April 2021, NASA announced that Lunar Starship is their chosen human landing system for the first Artemis landing. This $2.9 billion contract provides SpaceX with NASA funding for 2 Lunar Starship missions. First, they will demonstrate the concept by landing an uncrewed Lunar Starship on the Moon.
I know
Assuming this
this part.
demonstration is
Jeez.
successful, Lunar Starship will then fund more than half the development costs for Starship themselves, representing a significant cost saving for NASA. Consequently, SpaceX was the only company awarded a human landing system contract for Artemis 3, though other companies will be able to bid for subsequent moon landings by securing a highly capable lunar lander at a fraction of
Yeah. Well, again, so here's the thing. My personal conspiracy theory is that Elon Musk learned how to underbid people because Tom Mueller, one of the early engineers, worked at TRW, and from what I've heard, TRW was really good at underbidding on space contracts. That's what I've heard, but yeah. And they still have to build these engines too. There's a lot that needs to be done.
previously estimated costs. NASA can now envision a more ambitious lunar exploration program. The ability to affordably land hundreds of tons on the lunar surface could finally enable
Affordable, again, is debatable. Again, the problem is it doesn't matter how much you can land on the moon. Your lunar base still has to cost a lot of money. I'm trying to do dunking, but this, well, don't worry. I'm trying to do dunking, but there's nothing to dunk on yet. Okay, Mars missions. Here we get to the fantasy.
The official partnership between NASA and SpaceX to develop the Starship system for crewed spaceflight will also provide a solid foundation for the first human missions to Mars. SpaceX
No, it will not. This is the funniest thing. This guy has a PhD and he doesn't understand this.
envisions sending 2 uncrewed cargo starships to Mars in the 2024 launch window.
That's not happening.
Starships will enter the Martian atmosphere, much like a starship returning to Earth, using their heat shield to survive entry, their fins to control the descent, and finally, a propulsive landing. The goals for
Here's the thing, though. They still have to demonstrate that this thing can land anywhere first. And what kind of cargo will they be landing? Musk's Mars plans are non-existent, at least from the public standpoint, right? It's cargo. What would they be launching? What would they be landing? I'm assuming propellant production facilities to test that out, but why 2? Why not 1? I don't know. And of course, they have to buy time on the Deep Space Network and distract from real Mars missions and other interplanetary flights. What? Excuse me, it's not clickbait. PhD, I think, isn't like, it's something to do with exoplanet atmospheres. It's like astrophysics. And yes, none of the HLS landers should have won. That's going to be in criticizing Starship Part 3.
First Mars mission with Starship are to confirm local deposits of water ice, identify
there
hazards,
we
and
go. I don't
infrastructure
care.
such as power, mining,
I don't care.
from the Martian atmosphere. Ultimately, this first crewed mission will lay the foundational infrastructure for Mars Base Alpha, which will become the first.
Okay, so there's a lot of things that have to happen that we don't know has happened yet. It's, what does Musk plan on doing on Mars? Is he going to mine turbinium? Is he going to mine Bitcoin? What's he going to do on Mars? Right? There is nothing on these plans that's solid or anything that could be done by 2024 or this decade. Anyone who proposes serious Mars missions is, anything's like at least 10 to 20 years out, just because there's nothing done here. This guy should have realized this.
First human settlement on a planet beyond Earth. While SpaceX's Starship provides the transportation service, NASA's decades of experience in human spaceflight and robotic Mars missions will be key to the success of this endeavor. Though
What? What are you talking about?
many challenges remain to be solved, such as life support systems for Mars and the large-scale use of Martian resources, a partnership.
Again, none of these things have been built. They should be being built and tested now if you want to do Mars by the end of the decade. And that man's ear is sticking out a lot. What are they wearing? Okay, we need to have fashion designers. And they're Skyping with a doctor. What are they doing? This is Mars. What are you... Genuine Martian weed. Yeah, that's true. And yes, Starship should not have gotten anywhere near that contract. I think the reason Starship made it was because the first one that didn't make it was just a clone of Altair, and then Boeing didn't play by the rules, so...
Between SpaceX and NASA is well placed to overcome these obstacles. NASA's endorsement of Starship for lunar landings provides a clear pathway for SpaceX and NASA to work together in sending the first people to Mars.
But NASA doesn't have Mars plans. I would know. Look, when I did my Rascal design study back in 2017, it was for Mars missions in the early 2030s, and then the next week Mike Pence said, we're going back to the moon. It's annoying. The idea is a reserve of humans in case of an Earth-destroying disaster. The problem is, right now, if one of those were to happen and we had a Mars base, they would die too. That's the problem.
Within this decade. But to realize this lofty vision, it's more important than ever to deepen our understanding of the Martian environment. So with the fleet...
Again, here's the problem. Musk's plans just involve trouncing all over it. I'm sorry, but I talked about this in my last video, the one with my face in it.
Of robotic explorers at the red planet growing ever larger. Let's examine what we stand to learn.
Wait. Why does this have solar arrays and then 2 RTGs? This is Cassini, but with... Oh, gosh.
3 new missions that arrived at Mars this year. The year 2020 was a record-breaking Mars launch occasion. Once every 26 months, space agencies around the world looking to
That's also one of the problems with Mars colonization is there's a 26-month window unless you start building better transportation, like serious transportation, like serious stuff like that. You can't get anything there in time. That's true. I did hear about that. And yes, and if you do want to email me things, my email address is in the About section of the channel. Obviously, don't look at it too much because it's got my name on it. But, you know. Yeah, and I've heard, and so I did see a blurry presentation of what NASA's plans were for the moon when I did Rascal back in 2018. And I think that's what they have now, but I think that some of it got scrapped because of SLS delays. But, yeah.
Travel between the Earth and Mars can launch onto what is known as a Hoffman transfer orbit.
Yes, we know what Hoffman transfers are.
July 2020 was one such launch window. During this month,
I
3
know.
countries launched to
Oh,
Mars. The United
H2.
Arab Emirates with their Hope mission,
Yeah.
China with their Tianwen-1 mission,
don't
and the United
care.
States with the Perseverance mission. These 3 missions took around 7 months to reach the Red Planet, arriving in February
I don't care
2021.
about Mars
The first mission
Hope.
to arrive at Mars this year
Sorry.
was the
I
UAE
don't
space
care about
agency's
Tianwen.
Al-Amal, or HOPE.
There's nothing
HOPE
about
is
the
the
Mars
world's
plan.
first interplanetary spacecraft, developed and operated
the
by
heck?
Emirati engineers in collaboration with several universities in the United States. The HOPE orbiter was built in the United States at the University of
I
Colorado.
thought this was about Mars colonization. Or was I thinking of Zhishuan and Sebastian? Okay. I'm gonna find it. Give me a second. Okay, I have another video planned, but I want to find because Zhishuan and Sebastian talked about this. My 2 favorite people. Give me a second. Oh gosh. Hey, I'm live. Okay. To the... No, I don't... Oh, come on. Why do I suck at this? Okay, my favorite 2 people. There is a Mars plan. Where is this? There we go. Mars colony timeline updated.
Well,
shut up, Sebastian. No one likes you. Okay. Where's my live stream so I can look at... Yeah, Musk also doesn't have a Mars program. Yeah, that's the thing is he keeps talking about doing stuff at Mars, but he doesn't do anything yet. It's weird. Yes, oh no, I don't watch Zhishuan and Sebastian. Also, they've blocked me from commenting on their videos. Which, you can do that, by the way. I learned that. Because I made comments making fun of them. Okay, let's do this.
welcome to part 5 of this epic collaboration
not good.
between the Total Space Network and To the Future. The time has come to
that's
imagine
not
the
good.
future of humanity in space. And of course, we cannot imagine a future for humans in space without talking about Mars.
See, here's the thing. I can imagine a future without Mars. That's because I've read The High Frontier. But that's just me.
Yes, the topic has already been extensively covered not only by other channels but also by us, but we're going to try to really make a detailed video about how the first human colony
good.
on Mars
We have
might
something
look.
real to
We'll talk about
debunk.
realistic timelines for the first human landing. We'll talk about where the first colony will be built, how it will be built, what
How?
conditions must
Good.
suffice. We're going to talk about
So here's the thing. What do you bet this details will just be CGI and stuff we've heard before? How can we tell this? I can guarantee you that it's not going to be anything serious.
seek resource utilization, about self-dependence, about
Angry Ast... I've never commented on an Angry Astronaut video. I've checked him on Twitter sometimes. Extremely optimistic. No, they're delusional. There's a difference.
potential problems and how to overcome
take a very hard
about
stance
possible
on
targets
this.
where it will be built and more. So stay tuned for this quite extensive Mars episode.
Fusion! Oh.
In the first 3 episodes of this giant collaboration with our friends from the Total Space
God, I don't
Network,
care.
we were talking about the past of humans in space, from the beginnings of human spaceflight in the 60s to the moon race.
Oh, no. The Nazis went to the moon in the 30s. I saw this in a documentary called Iron Sky. They've already been there. This is already off to a bad start. Oh.
And the incredible achievements of the Apollo era, to humans living in space for longer and longer periods of time among the first space stations, then to the present with the ISS, and to the near future and humanity's return to the moon with the
Hey,
Artemis
this is inaccurate. Not this part. The ISS is.
program. In this last episode, the Total Space Network talked about how the Artemis program is going to look, about the Lunar Gateway, and of course about SpaceX's involvement in all of this
That looks...
as part
Okay, never
of the
mind.
human lander effort with their lunar starship. So go and check out their channel, link of course in
I'm
the
not gonna
description,
do
and they
that.
also release their videos in podcast format, which you can download on all kinds of
God,
podcast
no.
websites.
Oh,
For
God,
example,
no.
on Apple
What-
Podcasts,
what?
but also on their own website, link also in the description. Okay, so first of all, why should we settle other planets? We often hear
Oh,
people
here
say,
we go. So their argument is, I'm going to say this. Now, the reason I say this, when they say for continuation of the species, I take that as a bit more religiously than, as a bit more religion than practical. I'm fine with the idea of going into space, but we have to at least give ourselves non-weirdo reasons, you know? So let's do this.
things like, why should we even bother to build colonies on other worlds, on the moon,
Oh,
or even
careful with your language there, bud.
Mars, when these worlds are so hostile towards human life? What is the point of all this? Well, there are really many reasons why humanity must evolve and become a spacefaring civilization. A civilization that not only calls Earth home, but also the moon, Mars, and later other planets or moons. The first very big motivator is human
Okay, that's an actual valid reason.
curiosity.
But
Humanity
that's
started
not colonization, that's exploration, but, you know.
millions of years ago in Africa. But were our ancestors content staying there? No. They started venturing forth ever further away from the cradle, exploring new strange lands, encountering many obstacles and dangers in the process. And
But here's the thing, though. They went in search of food. That's the difference. I'm not going to talk
we are
about
sure
this.
many did not survive this perilous journey. Had humanity stayed in Africa, would we even exist now? Probably not. Had we stayed in one environment,
No, we'd still exist. Chimps still exist, and they're one of our closest cousins. We'd just be different. Whatever. We're not talking about this.
climate change, droughts, or other natural disasters would have probably wiped us out a long time ago. It is therefore evolutionary ingrained in us to explore and to conquer new living habitats. Even living habitats that are hostile, like for example Northern Europe in the Ice Age. That certainly wasn't a friendly place to live in. There are humans nowadays living in all corners of the planet, and that, among other things, enabled us to survive
Well,
on this
wait.
often
Yeah, but not as easily in some places as others. We have to remember that.
dangerous planet. But we still live on only one planet. After thousands of years of recorded history, after many advances in technology, after decades of spaceflight, we still only live on this one planet here.
That's quite true. You can blame politicians for that.
Every single human being lives on this planet, and yes, sorry,
What? Oh no.
but we also include the International Space Station here because it is so close to Earth, circling at only 400 kilometers above the surface, that from a larger point of view,
That is true. That's the.
it's really still living on planet Earth. Now, say something should happen to Earth. We saw that a global pandemic is a real thing, not some
Yeah, but a pandemic won't necessarily wipe us out, and a pandemic on Mars would kill them all too. They'd all hate each other. Ugh.
made-up Hollywood fantasy. Imagine a virus would be released 1,000 times as deadly as
Wait. What? Is this? This is English. That's spelled. Oh God, they're all H.P. Lovecraft fans. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I know Stephen Baxter's newest two books, was it World Builders or something like that? That takes a different future where humanity's like, there's like 500 million of us and we all just live on Earth. It's really interesting.
as the one that is currently plaguing us. Humanity would cease to exist on Earth and thus
Oh, come on.
everywhere in the universe. This funny race of bipedal primates would be no more, much to the dismay of many alien races who would lose their prime entertainment in laughing about our stupidity. Or a
No, supervolcanoes won't kill us. That's just wrong.
supervolcano eruption, or a gamma ray burst, an asteroid impact.
No, a gamma ray burst won't kill us, and I think the only thing that's close enough to cause one is off-axis, so it won't do anything. It's wrong. An asteroid impact won't... Again, we've already survived an asteroid impact that killed a lot of things. Mostly because we were rodents. That's true. That's quite true.
Is luckily getting more unlikely as our space capabilities expand, but it still cannot be entirely ruled out. There are really many scenarios that could entirely wipe us out.
Like what? See, the problem with... Again, the extinction argument's a dumb one. Because yeah, it's annoying.
And it's not that this didn't happen in the past. There were 5 big mass extinctions in the history of Earth, so the danger is definitely there on long timescales. It is thus a very good...
But again, long timescales means you can do a lot. And if we're aware of these things, we can prevent them or at least mitigate them. Dinosaurs didn't know what asteroids were.
idea to live on other worlds. If we live in other parts of the solar system, a disaster on Earth would not mean the end for humanity. And that
Maybe in 1,000 years that might be true, but not now. What's this? That's quite true. Yeah, but if we see but there's no huge asteroids that might be able to do it to us, so...
should be a really big motivator for us to leave our home planet. Then there's of course the economic incentive. If exploration and survival still is
that's debatable. Economic incentives centuries away, at least. That's true.
enough to convince you, then how about the economic benefits of spaceflight? Did you know how many offshoot technologies were invented as a byproduct of space?
Oh, we're playing this game now. It's one of those things where we don't know how history would have played out with or without the space program. It's fine. Again, these guys are also conflating with research and development with colonization. These people love doing this.
Spaceflight? Here's a nice infographic from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory of 20 offshoot technologies which we wouldn't have without spaceflight. For example, camera phones, scratch-resistant lenses, CAT scans, LEDs, landmine removal devices, athletic shoes.
You know, Lutz Kaiser invented a rocket-based landmine removal system. It's weird.
Foil blankets, water purification systems, dust busters, ear thermometers, home insulation, jaws of life, wireless headsets,
And we're also assuming these would never have been made otherwise.
memory foam, freeze-dried food, adjustable smoke detectors, baby formula, artificial limbs, computer mouse, and the portable computer. We are sure there are many more, but it's still surprising that so many
Wait. Portable computer was invented by the space... That makes sense.
technologies which we would not intuitively link to spaceflight were created as a result of spaceflight activities as far back as the space race era of the 50s and 60s.
Hey, wait, that's an electric car.
So spaceflight can make life better here on Earth by improving upon existing technologies and helping us to make new advances.
That's
and of
true.
course, apart from the secondary
But again, you're conflating these two. You gotta stop doing that.
economical benefit of spaceflight, there's the primary economical benefit of huge new business opportunities in space.
Like what?
SpaceX is the beginning of this new space economy.
Oh, so there aren't... See, you gotta list them. You can't just,
Elon Musk's famous company is basically the first solar system transportation company that will enable us to get
Oh, God, stop. No. No. Look, I could build semi-trucks, but if no one uses them, they're useless. They're lawn ornaments. Jeez.
from the Earth to other destinations in the solar system. They will also provide communications with Starlink.
Oh, no, don't get me started on this.
There will be huge asteroid and moon mining companies. All these
By the way, so this CGI was made by Deep Space Industries, which no longer exists, I think. None of the asteroid mining companies, the three I know of, exist anymore. So, and asteroid mining is at least a century away from being profitable.
these companies, most of which don't even exist today, will be trillion-dollar companies in 50 to 100 years.
No, you've fallen for it. You've fallen for it. No. $1 trillion are there to get you to go, gosh, wow. If I haul in 3,000 years worth of cobalt in a week, that's going to just crash the cobalt market. My God. Ugh. It's true, we do need better space telescopes.
And the space economy will at some point dwarf the Earth economy in terms of
Yeah, but that's beyond our lifetimes.
revenue and profit. So these are some really strong motivators to get our lazy asses off this planet here. I mean, yes, sure, it's a really nice and comfy planet, but most of you also don't live at your parents' home anymore, right? So it's really
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's why I moved to an airless desert. Yeah, my first place away from home was an airless desert, not Alabama. Jeez.
time to leave, and of course, there are two very obvious destinations. The first is the moon. It's really a logical choice, well, because it's really near and has many other benefits about which we already often talked in previous videos. And then there is the other famous target, namely Mars. But why Mars? Why is Mars the most obvious choice for humanity's first off-world colony on another planet? Well, there are really quite a few reasons for that.
Okay.
First of all, it's our neighbor planet, so it's really the nearest to us and the easiest for us to get there, apart from Venus. But Venus, unfortunately, experienced some pretty bad things in the past, which transformed a potentially once beautiful...
Look, it made some hot twig takes on Twitter. It got canceled, okay? We shouldn't be punishing it for this. That is quite true on the space. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the launch market in criticizing Starship Part 3.
beautiful second blue planet into a brutal hellhole, so it's not really advisable to live there, at least not on the surface. So Mars really is the most logical choice regarding distance. But apart from the obvious reasons, Mars really has many other things speaking for it. For one, it's a rocky planet with a solid surface. Then,
You sissies. I want to live in a floating city. You're all wrong.
the temperatures, although more extreme than on Earth, are still
Yes, I was outrunning Mormons in Utah.
quite manageable compared to other places in the solar system. It can get plus 30 degrees
Yeah, but that's like the hottest days. On average, it's below freezing. You
Celsius
just
during a
have,
hot Martian summer day at the equator, and minus 70 degrees Celsius during a Martian summer night at the equator. The lowest temperatures on Mars are minus 153 degrees Celsius at the poles. This is, by the way, a lot friendlier than on the Moon, where temperatures range
that's quite true, actually.
from plus 127 degrees Celsius to minus 173 degrees Celsius, whereas on Mars,
fast
the
enough?
temperature range is typically only about half as large. Then Mars rotates with a period fascinatingly
Okay,
similar
let's
to
skip
Earth.
ahead.
A Mars- So Mars really is the most obvious and best choice for our first colony on another.
Okay. Let's see. Iconography of space benefits spaceflight only true of the technology. That is quite true. That's the one thing we don't want to. Yeah.
Another planet. But of course, there are also challenges to be overcome. For example, Mars doesn't have a protective magnetic field as the Earth does. Only local pockets of residual magnetism from ages past where Mars still had a magnetic field. But the planet being too small, it cooled too fast and couldn't maintain the field. Therefore, Mars is being now bombarded with solar and cosmic radiation and is losing atmosphere at a rate of about 100 gram up to 1 kilogram per second. The radiation equivalent dose on Mars is about 230 millisieverts per year, as measured by Curiosity's onboard dosimeter instrument. Of course, we'll talk about how to overcome this apparent problem. Then, Mars being only slightly larger than half of Earth's diameter, Mars is a lot lighter than Earth. It has only 10.7% of Earth's mass.
Okay,
The gravity is therefore a lot
we know
lower,
this part.
with only
Oh, here we
37.6%
go.
of Earth's standard gravity. So our first colony on Mars will have to overcome some challenges. But where should it be built, and how?
Oh, let's put it Mangala Vallis. I read Voyage. I read Voyage. We're going to go with the Mangala Vallis.
Well, the how part some people are currently working on. You know, these people here that send up huge rockets called Starship on a regular basis and try to land them, sometimes failing in a spectacular
Okay, they've done this 5 times, and it worked once. It's a bit of a stretch, bud.
manner, but more often also succeeding in some form or another. What the people working at SpaceX really are doing is to build a multi-purpose space vehicle that will fly humans to the moon and even to Mars. It will be the Mars Colony Transporter that will bring the
Okay, I did the math on this. Starship can hold about 15 to 20 people based on my estimations, which are all bad. Okay, it's not good.
first settlers and cargo to Mars in order to build our first colony. That is why SpaceX is currently the most
Yeah, that looks safe. Yeah, let's do that.
important company of humanity with regards to human spaceflight, much to the dismay of Jeff Bezos.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. No, stop. Look, we all don't, I know people don't like Jeff Bezos, but my God, if you hate Jeff Bezos, you should hate Elon Musk too. Ugh.
And since our survival is 100% tied to human spaceflight, we are arguing that it might be indeed the
Wait, we're getting to the religion now. Let me get my Bible out.
most important company on the planet right now. So, Starship will bring us to Mars.
Debatable.
Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX, wants to build a large fleet of these starships, actually Starship and Super Heavy, which is the entire rocket system that will bring people to Mars.
Debatable. Here's the problem. Again, it's not done yet. It's nowhere near operational. Stop talking about this.
This rocket system will be able to land 100 metric tons of cargo on the
Stop saying it hasn't done it yet.
surface of the red planet in one go, thanks to orbital refueling. And it is fully reusable, which will drive down costs by many orders of magnitude.
Okay, so here's the thing about okay. So for the I'll talk about this in the other video we'll dunk on, but yes, that's quite true. Yeah, Starship. Well, it's volume and mass that is a big problem with Starship.
Thus enabling Mars travel in the first place. Okay, so SpaceX will bring us there, and they actually are already thinking about potentially interesting landing sites for humanity's first colony.
How about they start building life support systems and getting real crew and doing real things, not this. Okay, this is made by fans, but wait, why aren't they crediting? Wait, do they credit the people who make this? Do they? Okay, good. They credit this. Okay, good. Just want to make sure they weren't stealing anything. Yeah.
On another planet.
Okay, wait. Okay, I am not Cinema Sins. I'm not snarking. Okay, I'm actually doing real criticism here. Their logo sucks.
In cooperation with the University of Arizona, SpaceX has already identified several potentially interesting future landing
That doesn't mean anything, though. I can find interesting landing sites on Pluto, but that doesn't mean I'm going to go there.
sites. Most of them are located in a region known as Erebus Montes in the southern Arcadia Planitia and northern Amazonas Planitia region. These sites
That is true about the launch thing. Yeah, I think I know what Blue Origin's problem is. They have the same problem that Beale did. They went too big too fast, and they're hitting the big rocket problem.
must not be too far from the equator because the solar intensity must still be high enough to allow for electricity generation with solar power. The solar irradiance on Mars is 590 watts per square meters on the surface. So even though it is only about 59% of the 1 kilowatt per square meters on the surface of the Earth on a clear day, it will still be enough for sufficient power generation. But it should also be sufficiently far away from the equator to allow for large underground water ice deposits, which are only present in the northern and southern latitude regions. Also, it should be low-lying so that a higher atmospheric pressure
Yes, they're going to aero brake this. I forgot. This is Mars Direct. That'll be a sight to see.
will allow for easier Starship landing with regards to aerobraking, and this will also offer better protection from solar and cosmic radiation. The Erebus Montes region has been identified to suffice all of these conditions and will thus be a potential future landing site. Plus, there are also
I thought that said Milosevic for a second. It's like, why'd you name a crater after a genocidal dictator?
large underground lava tubes present in the area where exobiologists might be able to find signs of Martian life hidden deep underground in these huge caverns. Also, water ice and mineral ores are probably present there in large quantities. Okay, so let's now say that we are in the future, around the year 2030.
No, it's not. But okay.
We think that 2030 is a realistic time frame for the first humans traveling
Again, stop doing this. This is not smart.
Mars with starships. Plus minus a few years, of course, since we know that there are
A few decades.
large uncertainties with regard to the future Starship development timeline. The first manned mission to Mars could already take place in 2027, but maybe also as late as 2030.
Okay, stop making things up. You don't know any of this. You don't work at SpaceX, and if you do, you just committed industrial espionage. You just did a leak. Have fun going to prison.
We cannot know right now, but if we look at the current rate of progress with Starship at Boca Chica,
Yeah, Nuclear. Yeah, okay, that's the. Yeah, they should have. Blue Origin should have started with a small demonstrator version of New Glenn. SpaceX did this, and that's what they did really right. Yeah.
we can assume that around 2030 is realistic. So how will
No,
this
that's not realistic. Musk has, again, you're just making these numbers up.
Mars Colony 1 look? Before the first humans land at Erebus Montes, if this region should indeed be chosen, cargo starships would have already brought a lot of stuff there before the first people would even land. Power generation systems, meaning solar arrays, buffer storage batteries, and probably also NASA kilopower thermoelectric nuclear generators. Because reliance on solar power alone is not a good idea on Mars, due to huge global dust storm events that can cloud the sky for months, blotting out the sun quite dramatically. Nuclear power will thus be necessary
So I see. Elon is now going to invent the nuclear reactor. Oh, jeez.
as a backup energy source. Then, propellant production. The propellant for the return trip will be created on-site using so-called in-situ resource utilization. This means using the resources that are present directly there on-site. Liquid methane and oxygen can be extracted directly from the Martian atmosphere.
Okay, so here's the fun part. They're not saying anything useful. They're not saying how big of a unit should they be building, what cargo should they be landing, how the cargo will fit into Starship, how Starship will load the cargo in, what happens if Starship fails. They're not talking about any of this, like credible people would. I'd talk about that.
Using the famous Sabatier process. CO2 is extracted from the atmosphere and is being mingled with hydrogen.
Hey, that looks like, oh no, is that direct mission reference 4.0? Oh no.
Under high temperature and pressure, yielding methane and water.
Yes, we know this
The hydrogen for the first part is being won by splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen via electrolysis.
That's true.
So everything needed to create propellant for the return trip is directly present on Mars. Of course, habitats will also be brought to Mars. We assume it will be some form of expandable habitats at first. It is also
You assume.
highly advisable to build some sort of regolith dome structure above the habitats in order to protect against the radiation. 3D printing will play a crucial role here, so 3D printers will also be on board the cargo flights. We said that the average radiation dosage equivalent on Mars is 230 millisieverts per year on the surface. But such a protected habitat shelter would reduce this radiation by a factor of 100. Thus, radiation would not be a danger anymore. This is only but one of many possible configurations.
I'd have to do research on the radiation. This is why I do scripted videos. Okay, so the problem with hydrolocks is the power required to keep hydrogen cryogenic. Oh yeah, lithobraking is really neat, but with hydrolocks, so when I did my Cletus study, one of the original plans was to mine water ice from the moon and then turn it through electrolysis into liquid hydrogen for a Mars mission. The power requirements in the cold traps of the moon was something like I think 150 kilowatts for a few tons of hydrogen. So it's power hungry. So that's one problem with hydrogen. With liquid methane, you can keep it at liquid oxygen temperatures, and that's really easy to do. And Moon Village, that would be neat. You just gotta fund it, that's the problem.
For the first habitats. The companies Hessel and EOC have shown a really interesting concept for the first small
Concept. Gotta remember this. Concepts aren't real.
Mars bases using exactly such a combination of expandable modules and 3D printed regolith domes in order to overcome the radiation problem. Another interesting habitat concept is Marsha from the company AI Space Factory. They also want to use 3D printing to construct these high cylindrical structures. They would use special plastics, and in combination with a very tall design, it will also reduce the radiation exposure a lot as compared to.
Come on, lift it higher. Come on, lift it, lift it. Sorry, I gotta do this. Yeah. It's true, yeah. Yeah, hydrogen, and hydrogen for, Mars Direct, that's one of the weak points of Mars Direct, isn't it?
The surface level. Another really interesting design for the first Mars city, which we recently saw, is Nuva by the architecture firm Abibu. We find.
Oh, no, no. Let's get Santiago Calatrava to do this too. It'll be weird looking and useless. I saw that on, well, there's your problem, so.
This design particularly interesting and realistic since it solves key problems at once. Building the habitat.
It doesn't, okay, a Mars colony should be working first. That's the most important thing. And then aesthetic.
Into a canyon wall would drastically reduce cosmic and solar radiation exposure by orders of magnitude, just by using the naturally occurring surrounding rock formation of the canyon wall itself.
That's
These
smart, but
like habitat structures would be connected to each other inside the canyon wall or mountain.
I saw this in a documentary called Total Recall.
and here boring machines from the boring company will of course be an obvious and
Yeah, I've heard
perfect choice.
about see,
By the way,
carbon
on this topic,
monoxide.
we're planning another collaboration with Will from the awesome channel A Boring Revolution in order to
Oh, no, this guy's this guy, pardon my language, this guy's an asshole from what it sounds like. Well, Boring Revolution sounds like a complete jerk to everybody. I think he's on Twitter, I know he is. He's just antagonistic.
explore such interesting ideas a bit more. This design will also allow for naturally occurring sunlight to flood the living space in large enough quantities in order to increase the mental well-being of our future Martians. Because let's not forget that we humans are really sun-loving creatures. We evolved with the sun, and many or our most fundamental body processes.
Yeah, okay, just remember, they skipped something here. Proving that humans can physiologically live on Mars long term and have babies there. I think, well, okay, for these, I think these are just concepts, because there's like design competitions. The Mars Society does that. But, yeah, wait. Yeah. But the problem is we still have to prove that humans can physiologically do this. And since we don't know that, Mars colonization still, again, I think we all kind of accept that here, but, you know.
As well as mental well-being are heavily dependent on the sun. A lack of sunlight will lead to higher occurrence rates of depression and other mental disorders. It is therefore strongly advisable
Wouldn't being isolated also contribute to that?
to have enough sunlight in our future Martian homes. Plus, being located inside a hill, mountain or canyon wall, the tunnels could directly connect to water and mineral ore mining sites, where
That's
boring
true.
machines would also be heavily at work in order to extract these valuable resources.
Who's gonna dig this, though? It's gonna take a long time to build.
The tubular homes would also allow for some nice creativity with regard to greenery and plants, as we can see in these nice renders. So yes, this is definitely a realistic vision of
Okay, realistic, maybe 1,000 years from now.
a future city on Mars. However, one problem that is not addressed here is the low gravity problem, or let's say a potential problem, because we cannot be 100%
Damn it! They already, dang it, I spoke too soon.
sure that this really will be a health problem for our future Martian settlers. We do not have any long-term data for how Mars gravity would affect the human body, but many doctors think that this will be indeed a big problem since we are only adapted to 1G Earth gravity. They think that the low Martian gravity will lead to many detrimental health effects, especially in children. It might therefore be a good idea to overcome this potentially dangerous effect. One possibility is of course some form of rotational habitat, like a rotating
Just build an O'Neill cylinder. Oh, that's true. Yes.
train of sorts, as illustrated here by Dr. Joseph Parker. He, by the way, has a really excellent space channel called Terran Space Academy, which we highly recommend you to check out. Or, of course, if that turns out to be a bit too much of a hassle to construct, there's always the possibility of genetic manipulation.
I've seen enough science fiction to know where this goes. I know where this is going.
It has been shown that myostatin inhibition by increasing follistatin might lead to increased bone and muscle mass in humans.
Words I don't
Experiments
know.
with mice have produced muscular mice which have successfully withstood bone and muscle loss in 0G on the International Space Station. Future Martians might thus be genetically altered and have huge muscles. And yet again, Total Recall proved to be
They spelled it wrong. How can you... I don't care.
an accurate description of the future. Who would have thought? I mean, seriously, we have...
Okay, that's not a good thing, you idiots. The Mars City is a terrible place to live. What's wrong with you? Cohagen was a dictator, like Elon Musk would be. I've already talked about this, haven't I? We need to give these people air.
Cities built into canyon walls like the Nuva design concept. We have mining and drilling for mineral ores, and we have
Oh my
bodybuilder
God.
Martians. This is really some visionary stuff.
You guys like cyberpunk and completely miss the point of the genre, don't you? Oh God. What glass getting scratched? That's one way to spell it, I guess. Scratch during dust storms? That may be an issue. Okay, that's the defeatist attitude, face of sarcasm. I'm gonna punch you next time I see you. When I go to Arizona.
Okay, we also have weird mutants, alien artifacts, and ice popping. But hey, no movie's perfect. Anyways,
Excuse me, Total Recall is amazing. Don't you diss Total Recall, you mutants.
carry away there for a second, back on topic. So overcoming the low Martian gravity will be
How much Russian colony besides mining? I'm not sure. I haven't been following the literature in a while, so don't quote me on anything. I'm an O'Neillian, so just build space stations where you can just control the atmosphere. You could do other things on Mars. Like you could just build a city of Bitcoin miners, or I don't know, make British panel shows, something like that. Tourism, that's a big thing for a lot of countries, especially small ones in like the Caribbean, but
really important in some form or another, and genetic engineering would allow for overcoming this problem without building rotating habitat structures.
Could theoretically allow for coming this program. You keep confusing what could be and what is.
So now that the first Mars colony will have been established on Mars in the 2030s, what then? Well, we will of course have an industry.
We will all watch them die. Embarrassing deaths. That's really dark and mean. We'll watch them have Elon have an accident on Mars where he'll conveniently fall through an airlock and disable every safety system. This is really mean and dark. In a video game. Crater cap. I've heard of those.
Industry growing on Mars. Mars, with its unique combination of valuable minerals and rare earth metals.
Okay, rare earths might be a thing, but I think the asteroids are easier to get to. It just depends on what tech is available at this time. Again, this is what they're talking about here is nonsense, but for mining Mars versus mining the asteroids, I think the asteroids will probably be a bit better as an option, but I don't know. I have to follow up on it. Zubrin is fine if he doesn't talk about anything but Mars. If he talks about anything else, just smile and keep listening, but don't actually internalize anything. Zubrin's is a strong personality, I think. It's a great way to describe him.
And low gravity could become the mining hub of the solar system. A space elevator
Asteroid belt probably better. Or the Jupiter Trojans, those would be neat.
could be built much more easily than on Earth with existing
That's
materials.
true.
No need for carbon nanotubes on Mars due to the
That is
lower
true.
gravity. Hence, Mars could have giant orbital shipyards be built much easier than on Earth. The metals from the underground mining sites would be easily transported to orbit, where the future, even larger starships will be assembled
Oh god, no. Don't say starships. That's
directly in Mars orbit. Hopefully, of course, at the Utopia Planitia shipyards. And hopefully the flagship will be called Enterprise if
stop. Don't do that. Stop doing that. No.
not, we'll be really disappointed.
Trojan the Greeks? It depends on which one's better. I think both of them, because both of them have a lot more water ice than the inner belt, than the normal asteroid belt. So, oh no. Psyche.
Since Mars is so much nearer to the asteroid belt, it could be that the resource
Yeah, but proximity doesn't mean much. There are plenty of near-Earth objects we could get to with low delta V, somewhere around like a moon mission, but their launch windows are every 5 years instead of every 2 weeks. Jeez.
is gathered from asteroids such as 16 Psyche will be brought to Mars first, before being
Why would they brought it to Mars first? Why?
transported to Earth. Mars might thus really become the central mining hub of the solar system. On the surface, meanwhile, more colonies and cities will start growing. They might
Why? Again, what kind of colonies? What kind of cities?
be connected to each other using a global Hyperloop network.
I guess Hyperloop's a lot easier when there's no atmosphere.
On Mars, building Hyperloops will be a lot easier than on Earth because you get them almost
What do you think? On space cruise to the moon and back when? That'd be actually pretty cool. Neo stations. Yeah, see, that's why I'm an O'Neillian. That's the thing. Musk should be talking about the Gobi Desert or Antarctica. It's a great way to just test out isolated systems and setups. It's also a great way to test group psychology in these things. But if you do this on Earth, you can improve a lot. That's one of the reasons why I actually do like the Mars Desert Research Station. It's pretty neat.
for free. You already have a near vacuum on Mars, and the
See?
usually low
You got
temperatures
that
will allow
right.
for easier magnetic levitation by
Oh god, don't.
means of high-temperature superconductors. There are many really interesting sites on Mars: the giant volcano Olympus Mons, the huge valley system Valles Marineris. They all could be connected via a global Hyperloop network. And who knows, maybe at some point then, in the very far future, the future Martians might even start the huge
God, no.
undertaking of terraforming the
no.
red planet. We also made a video on that topic where we explore if this would even be possible and what would have to be done in order to accomplish this insane mega project.
It's
Link in
called the Genesis device. It's a documentary film about this called Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Yeah, I've heard of... Oh, he came up with hypersonic skyhook? I've heard about that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the problem with the bottom of the ocean is it actually, the deeper you go, you have to increase the pressure inside your habitat. And the problem is you'll start getting like oxygen will start just damaging your nerve endings from what I've read. So there's only so far you can go down before you start basically lowering your lifespan. I think. Don't quote me on this. I'm not a life support systems guy. I'm a boom tube kind of guy.
the description. So we hope we could convince you that Mars is a really excellent target for humanity and how Mars Colony 1 might actually look like. Check out the next video of this.
So again, they haven't talked about what would, again, the problem I have with stuff like this is not that they're talking about these as a concept, it's that they don't talk about anything beyond, we'll just do ISRU. We won't talk about any of the details or the power requirements or anything needed for, you know, 1 million people on Mars. Instead it's, we'll just do this and it'll all magically happen. Dislike. Okay, I have one more video we're gonna look at. If you want to terraform a planet, do Venus. Better gravity. That's true. Well, again, we were... Yeah, I don't think... Yeah. I actually do support the idea of building, like, skyhook-style systems. They'd be interesting. Like, right... Well, yeah, again, it's... You could actually probably mine the atmosphere of Venus. Yeah, I have the book on terraforming by Martin Fogg. I've read bits of it on Venus. It's really, he talks about smashing Enceladus into it, or at least using Enceladus to help terraform. It's different. Yeah, and yeah, when we talk about terraforming, we're talking about something way beyond our lifetimes. That's just beyond all of us. But, you know, a launch loop? Oh God. I've heard of launch loops. Those sound like something really scary to work. So we have one more, yeah, okay, so one more video, and then I think we'll, yeah, we'll do that. And I think the Venus windows are once a year, so that's easier. So we'll do one more video, and then we're gonna call it a night, because I'm overheating. Okay, so, look, Otrag. And, oh, don't look, there's shirtless men. Cover your eyes. Okay. Oh, 1.5 years. Yeah, it's way sooner than, yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna do one more. And so this is why NASA doesn't fly reusable rockets. And this is not true anymore because they use Falcon 9 for crew launching. So the real answer to this is making SLS reusable would require building an entirely new launch vehicle that doesn't fly more than once or twice a year. So that's the reason why there's a lot of, again, reusability is a circumstantially economically feasible setup. We're going to see if this guy gets this right. And we are terraforming the Earth in a bad way, unfortunately. We ready? There's a 20-second lag, so it doesn't really mean anything. Well, let's go.
Video is brought to you by Squarespace. For decades, reusable rockets were commonplace in science fiction, but they only became a reality in 2015.
Excuse me, DCX. It was reused. It was flown, like, I think it was the 24-hour period before it flew again. So you're already wrong. And again, and again, the shuttle was kind of reusable. You know, it's...
When SpaceX landed the first stage of its Falcon 9 for the first time.
NASA never tried to do anything like what SpaceX is doing.
Did they fund DCX? I think they did. So again, this is kind of,
The closest NASA ever got to anything like it was the semi-reusable space shuttle. So why doesn't NASA fly reusable rockets? To answer this question, we need to go back to the 60s when NASA designed the Saturn V and hired contractors to build it.
Oh no, they're going to say it's because it's not money
This monster
efficient.
rocket sent astronauts to the moon as part of the Apollo program. Fully fueled, it weighed over 6 million pounds, or about the same as 400 elephants, and stood taller than the Statue
Okay, why did I talk about elephants? I don't know.
of Liberty. The Saturn V was not at all reusable. The first two stages would fall into the ocean. The third blasted the astronauts to the lunar surface and would either remain in space or crash into the moon.
I doubt it ever occurred to the people designing the big F1 engines that you could make something that big reusable. And at that
Actually it did. You look at some of the follow-on Saturn studies. Yeah, some of the follow-on Saturn studies involved like the stage and a half S1D, stage and a half vehicle. They plan to reuse the outboard engines. Right, there were plans to fly back the the S1, the Saturn 1 first stage, they dunked an H1 in the ocean to see if they could use it again. And they did, it worked. Just no one was interested. We were going to a shuttle by that time. Ugh.
Point in the evolution of the space program, I don't think reusability was a consideration.
The government agency was instead focused on landing the first ever crew on the moon. A NASA employee also pointed to another reason the Saturn V was expendable. A flight operations director named Robert Frost explained that only about a dozen launches of the Saturn V were planned, so it was cheaper to use a disposable.
See, there we go. It's a flight rate problem. Also, 15. 15. That was the number given.
Launch vehicle. In the end, the Saturn V ended up being very expensive, costing $185 million for every launch. That's about $1.3 billion today, adjusted for inflation. NASA was so burdened financially that potential plans to produce more than the initial 15 Saturn Vs had to be scrapped. Then and only then did the agency consider a reusable rocket.
I know there was 16 and 17 under construction, and those were scrapped. Let's see, what was that? Yeah. Yes.
Senior NASA Administrator George Mueller championed the development of a fully
Oh
reusable
no, Germans, run!
system, but the space shuttle never became quite what he envisioned.
The engineers found out that it was too expensive and too technically challenging to make it fully reusable.
Okay, again, here's the thing though, it was because of competing requirements. It's not that easy, guys. I know, it looks, oh gosh. It's never this easy. It's not easy, and there are some key factors that make shuttle just not work, but, you know.
They settled on making it partially reusable. The orbiter that housed the crew could be reused. So could the two.
But there were plans for liquid booster upgrades. I've seen the design studies for them. I found them. They're like 500 pages long each. Yeah. And the fun thing about the Saturn 1 stage is, the first stage, is that thing is really strong.
Two solid rocket boosters, but not the large external tank that held the fuel for the main engines. That would burn up in Earth's atmosphere. Despite its partial reusability, the shuttle failed to lower costs. NASA pegged price of a launch.
Again, it's because, one, you have a standing army of 10,000 people to make it work. It doesn't fly it fast enough because it needs to be torn down and rebuilt every... Okay, I think we've all kind of know this.
$450 million. However, several independent sources estimated that the actual cost was around 1.3 to 1.5 billion, in the same ballpark as the Saturn V, while carrying less payload, making it more expensive on a per-pound basis. One reason is that the space shuttle required a lot of work to prep for another mission.
That's true.
For example, 21,000 thermal protection tiles needed to be inspected. The boosters had to be fished out of the ocean to be refurbished. So it became
That's actually one of the big problems with it. And again, it'd have been cheaper just to toss them, because again, you have to ship them to Utah.
difficult and costly to turn around the space shuttle quickly. Plus, the production facility that churned out the external fuel tanks could only manage a maximum of 24 a year. The space shuttle would only
24, yeah, that's what would probably made it cost effective, but you couldn't make that flight rate. And it hit I think it hit 9 flights in 1985, and then something happened.
only end up flying an average of 4 times annually anyway. Tragedies like the Challenger disaster also halted the program for years. NASA never achieved the rapid reusability characteristic of private companies like SpaceX, which hope spaceflight will one day be as routine as plane travel.
That's been our lifetimes, but that's
That is a difficult feat. It took SpaceX 13 years to successfully land at first stage. Unlike NASA, SpaceX started out with a vision of building reusable rockets and stuck with it. Others are also banking on reusability. Blue Origin's New Glenn will be designed with a reusable booster. ULA is considering catching the Vulcan Centaur's 2 engines.
And yeah, smart reuse has been around for a long time. Yeah.
Midair. China is developing the Long March 8 to land its first stage. Despite the technological advancements in rocketry, NASA's upcoming replacement for the retired space shuttle is still not reusable. The Space Launch System is intended to carry heavy payloads to the
First
moon
of all,
and maybe one day Mars.
SLS has been around since about 2010. No one had demonstrated that you could do this, and with a low launch cadence, you don't really need to make it reusable. Oh yeah, and yeah. What if they built 10 shuttles? It costs a lot of money, and you never get the flight rate because there's no payloads for it. That's the problem.
The core stage is being built by Boeing, but the rocket is also using some of the same hardware from the space shuttle and will actually discard the RS-25 engines that the shuttle did reuse. So why not make the SLS reusable? NASA says it's to bring down costs and speed up development time.
Because again, it's not going to be used very often.
Hey, that's the right answer.
Additional engineering, the additional cost.
That's the right answer.
Something that big to be reusable compared to how infrequently it's going to be used. I think the cost trade-off is in favor
You made
of
it right.
expendability.
It may only take off once a year, whereas the commercial sector can be the one organizing regular trips to space in the future.
Okay. Again, regular trips to space in the future is to be demonstrated.
Headlines have questioned whether the SLS is even worth the expected $2 billion price tag per launch.
It depends. Okay, that $2 billion per launch is probably for the first one. Then once it keeps, again, it's the flight rate. Right, it makes a curve. The more you fly, the cheaper it gets. The first flight of the Ariane 5 was about $500 million, and it doesn't blow up. So, I like this footage. Can't wait to see this thing fly.
Especially since SpaceX is building the giant, fully reusable Starship. Musk has said that in time, each launch of Starship will only be around $2 million.
We're going to stop this right here. Every low-cost launch study I've seen bottoms out at $200 to $400 per kilogram, which would mean, idealistically, Starship would cost $20 million per launch. It's 10 times this, but again, the problem is that flight rate is just there's no market for that kind of flight rate. Yeah.
Or 0.1% of the cost of the SLS.
Yeah. Again, this is yet to be demonstrated. Again, SLS cost, full cost won't be done until the end of the program. Same with Starship.
Though without NASA, there would likely be no SpaceX. The agency handed out billion-dollar launch contracts that kept the company afloat. Plus, the purpose of NASA is to do the research that private companies don't do or won't do. As the private
That's
space industry
true.
grows, NASA may never feel the need to develop anything fully reusable. The SLS is expected to take off in
Well, again, that's debatable. It depends on what the space program needs. Ah, jeez.
2021 at the earliest. My previous video compared some of the current and future rides to space. The video is also available to watch on my new website, NewsThink. I made my website using Squarespace, which sponsors this channel. Whether you want to show off your work, run a business, or a blog,
What,
the
that's
website is a
it?
great way to build your online presence.
This is boring. This is even... Oh, jeez.
Squarespace is very easy to use. You don't need any experience in website building, and there are many beautiful templates to choose from.
I don't care. Well, that was boring. We have 10 minutes. Let's see if Angry Astronaut's done anything worthy of note. Let's see. I don't care. What? I don't care. Oh gosh. Yes, Enterprise was supposed to be one, but then they turned Challenger into one. Uh-oh. Oh, let's see what this guy has to say about this.
Just a few short months ago, it appeared to quite a few space enthusiasts that NASA had finally embraced this as the primary vehicle to get human beings back to the moon, at least in terms of being a landing system. However,
this is at 2 times speed, by the way. I thought there were, yeah, and then weren't there some spares after Endeavour, too, to build another one? That NASA said, no.
how much things change in just a few short weeks. The almost $3 billion that was allocated to this system is now stuck in governmental process with the GAO. A much larger amount of money is being considered by the government for other systems besides Starship. And on top of that, a whole new spending bill has come out of the House of Representatives from the Commerce, Justice, and Science Subcommittee. And they approved what seems to be a decent amount of money for NASA. $25.04 billion trip to the moon. That is something I'm actually kind of excited about. No, what this is all about is future iterations of this ship. Something that certain allies of Boeing and the SLS in general is pushing very hard for. For example, the ranking member of this subcommittee, Representative Robert Adderholt, and I really don't care if I'm mispronouncing that, who's from Alabama.
Oh, hey, learn to pronounce things, bud. I put my best effort into badly pronouncing things. Yeah. Hello, oh god, I'm gonna mispronounce it. Frazel D? Frizel? Oh gosh.
Particularly where a lot of work is done on these sorts of things, especially the SLS, said, quote, NASA seldom, if ever, provides Congress with a budget request for the Space Launch System that reflects program estimates. Oh, really? And he also calls for, quote, multi-year acquisition plans, unquote. On top of that, quote, Congress must ensure the future of the SLS includes a cargo variant, which in fact has
well, yeah, that's
long been part of the NASA plan. This capability will be integral to future lunar cargo and science missions, unquote. Now, of course, a lot of us are familiar with the SLS Block 1B and the SLS Block 2 and all of...
I have seen this in person. Not this part. Just the second stage.
NASA's future plans when it comes to Boeing's behemoth, but we had dared to hope that maybe all of this was behind us once NASA started to invest heavily in Starship. But this is clearly not the case. SLS still has very powerful allies who are pushing for a rocket that is frankly completely unnecessary, even...
Oh, someone doesn't understand space travel. So just for clear, Angry Astronaut's background is in history, I think. He's a self-taught spaceflight enthusiast, which it's not the worst thing, but it can lead you down some bad paths.
If Starship fails to mature as a system, a cargo version of SLS is not only unnecessary, it's something that could ultimately kill Artemis completely. What am I talking about? Well, we're going to find out in just a moment.
Oh, good. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Oh god, not futurism. Rude behavior. Yeah. So the problem is, I think Angry Astro is just antagonistic. Boom. Come on, you should really use Saturn 1 launch footage instead. Yeah, that's the thing. Musk is also self-taught. Yes, that is quite true. Oh, but
Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Angry...
Wait, sunglasses. Okay, everything's blurry. Oh, okay. Okay, we're good. Everyone better have their sunglasses on. Okay, so let's see. He's got Starship. He's got Alpaca, which is too heavy apparently, which isn't good.
astronaut finally back home, finally in my studio, or an excuse for my studio, and wearing some new merch. Hey, check it out for those of you
I should get t-shirts. I'm not big enough channel yet. When I hit 10,000 subscribers, we'll do t-shirts.
who don't want to be squinting at this thing. It simply says, I watched SN15 land and survive with the Angry Astronaut. And come on, let's keep it real as I always do. That is indeed what happened. It did land, and it was on fire, and they managed to put the fire out, and it did indeed survive. So that is what happened. I do my best to keep things real on this channel, and so that's what this shirt says. If you like the way that I put things, if you like keeping things real, then by all means, have a look in my shop, because there's a lot.
Yes, orange rocket, good. I also can't see anything, but, you know, I have a big TV screen.
Lot of things that keep matters real, especially when it comes to today's topic, which is, once again, one of my favorites, the SLS. Now, every now and then I get into a mood where I'm feeling, I don't know, sort of sympathetic towards Boeing and the SLS as they get closer to being completed, as they've, you know, gotten close to completing the stacking, everything is getting human rated.
Yes.
It's all looking very promising in terms of taking the first astronauts back to the moon in more than half a century. But, and this is a very big but, that's as far as this whole thing needs to go. The SLS...
Wait, who should stop slouching? Should I? Oh gosh. I'll stop slouching. Or Angry should stop slouching. Actually, the plan I had for a t-shirt would be the, I think it's the Rockwell or McDonnell Douglas minimum cost design. That's the one that's on my banner. Be that. Or one of the old LCLV studies I'll talk about.
In my opinion, is going to be ready to take human beings to the moon more swiftly than Starship, far more swiftly. Now, you know, once again, when I say far more swiftly, talking, you know, maybe 4 or 5 years, something along those lines. I do believe that it's going to take that long before NASA is going to regard Starship as being safe to transport human passengers.
Ooh,
so,
okay, so here's the problem. Okay, actually, never mind. I thought he was going to talk about landing people. It's like, no.
what this means is we only need enough SLS rockets to accommodate the number of people that are going to be fed into the Artemis project until Starship is ready to take human passengers at a much lower price.
Cost isn't everything, bud. So he's missed the point. Starship isn't safe because it needs rocket engines to land, which is not safe. You want to fly this thing like an airplane, it's got to fly as many times as an airplane before it even carries people.
And yet, that is not currently what's happening with the government. Instead, they are looking to increase even further the SLS budget. Now, there's an overall increase to NASA's budget as a whole, which I applaud, but once again, more money being fed into this damn system.
Dude, we're not going to just get rid of SLS because you don't like it. Grow up.
And frankly, even though I do believe, as I said, the SLS is going to be the best solution in the short term for getting human beings to the moon, it is not a long-term solution. And certainly not when it comes to taking cargo, as some of this budget is supposed to be earmarked for this purpose. Upgrading SLS, as was planned a long time ago, in order to chase...
Where does Angry get all these opinions? If you read enough forums, you'll find it. Again, when I hit 10,000 subscribers, I'll talk about doing the t-shirts. I'm at 704 right now. We have a bit harder, a bit of way to go before that. We drop tanks because drop tanks. That is quite true. Drop tanks are hard.
They take large amounts of cargo to the moon and ultimately to Mars. And let me tell you something. This simply isn't going to work. And not only is this plan going to harm Artemis, it's going to harm the Western world's ability to compete.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no.
With the People's Republic of China. So how is all of this real? How am I still keeping things real with this statement? Well, you're going to find
well, you can concoct your own reality, bud.
Out right now. So some people may still be wondering, why do we really need this thing in order to get human beings to the moon in the first place? Well, the fact of the matter is, we don't. But the problem...
We don't. This guy's going to be in a video. I would assume the drop tanks would be hard for propellant management with, like, probably closing. I don't know, actually. Probably be doing with the attachment and refueling, maybe. I don't know. Oh, why are my glasses dirty? Oh, well. Okay. Let's just...
problem is, we've been working on a project that essentially requires a heavy lift rocket like this to deliver.
Congratulations, you figured that part
deliver
out.
the necessary capsule, the Orion capsule as it is called, to get to lunar orbit or to cislunar space in general. You just need this much thrust in order to be able to
You need this big chunkus of a launcher. Thrust is incidental.
accomplish that. Now, when it was originally conceived, Orion didn't even have the moon as a destination in mind. It was a catch-all, deep space type of exploratory craft. And by the way, look at this, not the big orange rocket originally. This was from 8 years ago. That's how long this project has been in development.
Launch vehicle development takes time when you have people who aren't interested in anything beyond low Earth orbit, bud. Jeez. Plus, I think the SLS funding was more of a flat curve instead of a big hump you need. So that's, you know.
And that's how long it's been going through its process of evolution. This thing is huge, especially if you include the abort tower. We're talking a gross liftoff weight of over 78,000 pounds. And yeah, I'm going to be using that kind of terminology because that's what NASA uses. So what you got here is a ship that weighs nearly 40 tons at takeoff, has almost double the habitable volume of Apollo, and it also can manage 21 days worth of life support for 4 crew members.
You say this like it's a bad thing.
More than double what Crew Dragon is capable of. So there really isn't anything on the market that can match Orion's capabilities, nor is there a
Because there's no market for anything like Orion. You got keep that in mind, bud.
rocket that can effectively transport it to the moon. In theory, Falcon Heavy could just make it to the lunar gateway, but there is not much room for error there, and in the end, I doubt
Falcon Heavy couldn't do it because if you're talking about going to like near 64 tons capacity, you're talking about you can't look at it funny, it won't fly. So
that NASA would approve it, nor is Falcon Heavy human rated, nor is Elon Musk eager to make Falcon Heavy human rated. He said that many times. And there's another complication. Even if Falcon Heavy theoretically could carry the Orion as it exists today, this is not the final version of Orion. The Orion right now is powered by what's called the ICPS, or Interim Cryogenic Propulsion Stage.
and I've seen it in person. I didn't get a picture though, which is sad.
But the final version, and this is just past review, is the Exploration Upper Stage, which is
Oh, look at that. Oh yeah. Sorry.
powered by 4 RL-10 engines from Aerojet Rocketdyne, as opposed to 1 engine. This allows the Orion to carry not only the crew, not only the life support, but over 10 tons worth of cargo as well in the same mission. Kind of an important thing because the existing version can barely handle 100 kilograms. But whereas I can see the need, perhaps, for the Exploration Upper Stage in the Block 1B, as it is called, once we get beyond that, it just gets unnecessary. The Block 2 is capable of carrying quite a lot of cargo all the way to the moon, over 50 tons, as a matter of fact, using old-style tons, that is, but still, there are much better ways of accomplishing this, and
Like what? Oh, jeez. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's quite true on the thrust and the requirements. It just depends on, yeah. Again, this is engineering where it depends is your blanket answer to a lot. And look at that, nice.
for a lot less money. In order to be able to create the Block 2, it's going to require more advanced solid rocket boosters, and of course the improved upper stage, amongst a variety of other changes.
Yeah, it's an wait, they're iterating it though. Don't you like, oh,
How much development time and how much cost are we talking about here?
Wait. Western Argentina. Should ICPS be kept? Well, it can't really be kept. The problem is ICPS can't be kept because Delta 4 is being retired, I think in 2025, so you need EOS, and you kind of, the thing is SLS is mostly meant for like big, like structures like space station habitats to go to the moon, that sort of thing. One thing is what Musk fans know about orbital refueling and other aspects. Yeah, that's the thing, is the Musk cult is so weird. And then, as high common sense skeptic, well, I should have turned my air conditioning to something lower than 80 degrees, so I guess I'm that way. And I'm nearing the end of the stream. Once this video is done, we're going to call it quits, so.
Well, even the most optimistic estimates are putting this towards the end of the decade before this rocket is ready.
And
although the capabilities of Block 2 are pretty impressive on paper, I mean, it can deliver, in theory, about 130 tons to low Earth orbit, more than Starship. The expense...
okay, 130 tons to low Earth orbit is just a metric. It's an interplanetary launcher. It's not going to Leo.
Of developing and launching this rocket is most likely going to be staggering. We're looking at $2 billion per launch of SLS as it is.
Again, the first one will, once you get production going, it's going to cost less than $1 billion. It's about 870. I understand the importance of having a higher stage of that power. That's true. Is Russia the West? No, Russia is the East, I think.
and that's without further development costs for more advanced versions of the rocket. And this is a fact that has not gone lost on the U.S. government, especially the Office of Audits in their document entitled NASA's Management of Space Launch System Program Costs and Contracts, which I have linked in the description. One of the main problems is the fact that there's almost no transparency in any of the contracts for SLS development. Quote, the structure of the SLS contracts limits visibility into contract costs and prevents NASA from determining precise costs per element. Specifically, rather than using separate contract line item numbers for each element's contract deliverables, each of the contracts have used a single line item to track all deliverables, making it difficult for the agency to determine if the contractor is meeting cost and schedule commitments for each deliverable. So what does that mean?
Hey,
Well,
this
they're
footage
finding
looks familiar.
that the overall cost compared to the original estimates had gone up by at least 33%, and that was by the end of November 2019, a figure that could reach 43% or higher if additional delays pushed the launch date for Artemis 1 beyond November 2020. We're in 2021 already, guys. So this lack of transparency has allowed the contractors to rip off...
Hey, bud, you are aware that SpaceX isn't that transparent either. They're a private company. That's why it's so funny when they talk about costs. So,
off NASA, especially Boeing, to a huge degree. There's $6 billion that have not been tracked or reported as part of the program in general. $6 billion that nobody can really account for or justify. This has gotten completely out of control, and to continue allowing Boeing to do this into the future with an upgraded Block 2 is just asking for more wasted money. There's a better way to do this. Far better.
A better way to build an SLS. Oh, Jesus.
Even if Starship is not ready in the time frame that Elon is thinking or anywhere close. And as I've said before, I'm not suggesting scrapping SLS altogether.
That's some good footage there. Look at that thing. Yeah, when I saw it, it was in the ISS processing facility, and it was in its like stand. It was really cool. And now it's there 3 years later.
It's entirely too close to being ready. This is the ICPS being...
Okay, Poland is not the West. That's the East, I think. I don't know what qualifies as... The West is whatever you want it to be. Yeah, if Congress can fund a fighter jet, they can fund this. Yeah, again, if you squirted $50 billion into SLS, you could get a lot more out of it. Ah, that's true. Yeah, the problem is a lot of these ideas look easy on paper, and especially if you read a lot of science fiction. But then you start getting to the boring practical reality, it's not as exciting. Right? There's a book I have called Shuttle Down, where a polar launched shuttle has an abort and it lands on Easter Island. So, and it's a big political and big struggle to get it off the island. So,
being stacked on top of the entire arrangement, the final stage before Orion is put on top and the escape tower, of course. This thing is very close to being ready to launch.
Yes.
We simply can't abandon it at this point. It's just too far along. However, that doesn't mean that we need to keep going with a process that is clearly broken.
Okay, there's room for improvement. Oh, wait. United States at the center. Oh gosh, what we talk? Oh, okay. See, alternate history is fun. You guys ever read Eyes Turn Skywards? It's a great one.
We should continue to push forward with the crude version of SLS for as long as this remains
I
the
just brought it up. Is that alcohol? This is a very Christian. This is a Christian stream. We can't be drinking alcohol.
only viable way of getting Orion to the moon, or until we have a replacement for Orion. But until that time, SLS...
There's no replacement for Orion. I mean, Starship, I guess, maybe? I'd have to read into it.
Remains the vehicle of choice for people. However, for cargo, there are better options available right now. We don't need to
Okay, you have to establish this cargo.
sink billions of dollars into yet another SLS system. And I'll bet a lot of you can guess what I'm getting at right now, and that, of course, is the Falcon Heavy.
No.
Even though this system cannot deliver anywhere near as much payload to cislunar orbit as the SLS Block 2, it can deliver around 20 to 21 tons worth of mass to translunar injection, and that all depends on what source you...
Jeez. It depends on what you're launching. Again, the problem is Falcon Heavy's payload variant's too small. I don't know. Wait. Yeah. Okay, 5 SLS might be a bit much. Yeah. So Italy's news. Well, Italy does have a space program. They use they were planning to launch scout rockets from the San Marco platform.
you look at. SpaceX doesn't officially list how much it can get to the moon with a Falcon Heavy just to geosynchronous transfer orbit and to Mars. This is an estimate, but nevertheless, almost half of what the Block 2 is capable of, and for about $100 million at
Yeah, but here, see this? That's not big. What kind of cargo are you talking?
most, maybe $150 million. But let's assume we have to go fully expendable with this thing and it does run $150 million per launch. That means assuming $2 billion a launch with SLS Block 2, and that is not
see, you're playing that game again where you're just making up numbers.
an unreasonable estimate. You're looking at a hell of a lot of launches here. 13.33 launches delivering.
But what are you launching, Angry? You keep forgetting this thing. You use this is the same logic that says you should use a bicycle to do a semi-truck's job. What are you talking about?
280 tons to cislunar space. Now, of course, it's kind of difficult to do 1/3 of a launch, so if you want to break things down a little bit further, we're talking 40 launches for the cost of 3. That's a ridiculous ratio. The Falcon Heavy is simply capable of delivering far more weight and far more cargo to a sustainable lunar base and to the lunar gateway than any Block 2 ever could. Investing in Block 2 is investing in a dead-end system. Plain and simple. We have rockets available right now that can do far more for far less. But what about volume? Everybody knows the Falcon Heavy has a limited amount of volume in its fairing. Perhaps we can develop a new fairing, but that's going to cost a lot of extra money. So what are some alternatives as far as that is concerned? And oh boy, I just love watching this. What a virtuoso piece of aeronautical engineering, these two boosters landing side by side. I'll never get sick of that. Anyway, let's move on. As I'm sure a lot of you can also guess, we can go with the Vulcan Centaur if we need a much larger fairing size, 5.4 meters in diameter and up to 70 feet long. And yeah, sorry about the mixture of measuring systems there, but that's how they do it on their website. And they're capable of delivering up to 13 tons to translunar injection. Now, that isn't as much as the Falcon Heavy, but it's a lot more volume in case they have a cargo requirement that needs that kind of volume. And even if you just used Vulcan Centaurs at about $150 million a pop, it would still be so much less than using Block 2.
Here's the problem. Cost isn't everything. My first car I got for $500 from a guy that looks like Kiefer Sutherland. I don't drive that car anymore because it sucks. The face of sarcasm can attest to this. It's
Again, assuming about $150 million per launch, you would be looking at about 100 tons delivered to translunar injection for the same price. So really, when it comes down to it, no matter what rocket system you use, you come out ahead of the Block 2. And this is why the lunar gateway is being deployed by Falcon Heavies. This is why just about everything associated with Artemis is being deployed by alternate rocket systems besides the SLS as time has gone on. So developing a cargo-carrying SLS is an absurd waste of money. And the fact that Congress has not...
The Block 2 cargo fairing is 10 meters. What if I need something that's 10 meters across? I can't launch I can't launch partial meters, bud. Ah, jeez. Oh no. Oh no. The lander. Oh, I think it's one of those videos. Oh, jeez. I haven't seen Dark City, but I've seen The Lost Boys.
Not realize this is becoming incredibly frustrating. I mean, hell, even if the Vulcan Centaur doesn't get delivered for some time because Blue Origin keeps screwing up the engines,
oh god, I forgot he has a compulsive hatred for Blue Origin too.
Atlas 5 can be used in a pinch for delivering large volume cargoes. It isn't efficient as far as mass is concerned to translunar injection, but still, the Falcon Heavy could handle 90% of the jobs, and the Atlas 5 could handle the particularly big pieces of cargo should these be needed in the future. The fact of the matter is, a new SLS system simply does not need to be developed, especially at a time when we need a human landing system to be developed to land on the moon, or just a system to deliver all of this cargo to the surface of the moon in the first place. None of these systems exist, they're only in development, and the only one that has a practical chance of being ready on time is Starship. So why continue to invest this?
Again, you're making... Oh, jeez. Oh my god. Oh, jeez.
Money in SLS. The answer, of course, is jobs, but if we use these alternate rockets as cargo transports, that'll supply jobs too. Wherever SpaceX builds rockets and wherever ULA builds rockets, there are better ways to do this.
ULA builds rockets a couple miles away from me. I've driven by the plant. I've been to the steel plant next to it. Jeez. Yeah, so SpaceX should buy... Yeah, the thing is, these people are unironically calling for SpaceX to have a monopoly, which is just dumb. It just shows how little these people understand this.
We simply have to think outside the box. Oh, and if you don't mind a little harmless self-promotion, here's a close-up of that I Survived SN15 piece of merchandise that I've got, and it's got my logo on the back, in case you're interested and you'll want to see me continue making videos where I slam on SLS and Boeing.
Where you're emotionally compromised and talk about space. Sorry, bud, that's more of an accurate description.
So there you have it. SLS is an interim solution for getting human beings into cislunar space, and that's it. It really doesn't need to go any further than that until we have a viable replacement. In the meantime,
A viable replacement such as... He won't list one because there aren't any. Wait, what? Well, I'll watch the bad summary in case he slips up, and then we'll call it quits for the night. How's that?
Meantime, cargo can be delivered either by existing rockets or by rockets that are already on the board.
No.
Of course, one of the biggest ones of those being Vulcan Centaur, and I think that even Blue Origin is eventually going to stop screwing up and bring the necessary engines to ULA in order to make that a workable solution. But even if it isn't, and even if Starship isn't available as quickly as we would like, the Falcon Heavy can do the job, and so too can the Atlas in terms of delivering the necessary cargo to support Artemis to Sicily.
Unless that cargo is bigger than their fairings. Jesus Christ, you don't know anything.
Space for a lower price, a significantly lower price, as I think I demonstrated in the video, than it would be to develop a whole new SLS cargo system. As impressive as it may look on paper, the expense is just daunting. It's
I know To the Future has talked about SLS as Senate launch system. Yeah.
stupid is what it is. Going back to the old way of doing things, using entirely 100% expendable solutions in order to get to the moon and to build a sustainable presence on the moon is simply...
Okay, you want to build a sustainable space presence on the moon, but you don't give us a reason why we should do that. Again, you don't know what sustainable means. We're going... jeez. How many subscribers? Oh my god. Oh my god, he has 63,000 subscribers.
Not going to work. And Starship is the obvious solution for that, but until it's actually available, we have a lot of other interim solutions, as I described in the video. This is the direction that we need to be going in. This is where Congress needs to be spending their money. They don't...
No. No, bud. There's vested interests to keep SLS production.
need to be ratcheting up the budget for SLS even further. It is a complete waste. It is only a useful system for transporting personnel in the interim until we get a better solution. That's all it's good for, period. And all efforts to make it anything else need to come to a stop. Not because I want to throw a ton of people out of work. I would be delighted if Boeing would come up with some kind of completely reusable solution.
The problem is full reusability is highly dependent on launch market, bud. I'm surprised. For someone who claims to be enthusiastic about space, he clearly has no idea what he's talking about. My God. It's reusability it depends. It depends on the situation. A fully reusable SLS would cost a lot of money to do. You'd have to build an entirely new launch vehicle, which would be a waste of time and money. Maybe in the 2030s or 2040s we could look at this, but my God. And plus, we should have a public rocket specifically for NASA. It's a personal opinion of mine, but geez. I care about surfer space, new space fans, yeah. Attacked Tory? Yeah. Because, again, Musk's greatest achievement will always be building a cult of personality. It's what he's really good at. Yeah, and it's really funny. I watched that whole interaction on Twitter where Tory was like, oh, you want to come down to the factory? And they're all nice and good. And then Elon had to ruin it. It's so annoying.
Not like they really could, not affordably, or not on any sort of reasonable timetable based on their previous performance, at least over the last...
You are part of a hate cult. Oh no, I don't care.
Several decades. They just can't get the job done. And look, I don't have anything personally against Boeing or anybody who works there. Their track record is...
Oh, you see, you're playing that game now. I don't hate them, I just think they should all be disemboweled.
been terrible lately, and if they were to turn that around somehow, and I don't think the Starliner is going to be an example of that, but if they were able to turn things around to some degree...
It should have been the T-Space CXV. We all know it. That's the best
I would be thrilled to do a positive video about their accomplishments, but you know what? I can't bring myself to do it. As much as I like to think that I get excited about the fact that SLS may be taking astronauts back to the moon here very soon, it is just a short-term solution, and that's it.
So you're mad because it's a thing you don't like. My God. This guy doesn't know anything. I'm just going to be... Astro Kiwi, I know you defend him, but this guy doesn't know anything. He's emotionally compromised, and he's a cancer. He's not as bad as To the Future, but my God, he's getting a video.
Dare not get seduced into the idea that this is the way of the future for making a sustained presence on the moon.
You have to provide a reason to... I'm repeating myself now.
Simply will not work, and the Western world's competitors, and the People's Republic of China, they know that it isn't going to work either, and that's why they're developing their own carbon copy Starship. So if Western...
Okay, China's doing that because they've announced carbon copies of everything. They had a Kistler carbon copy that never flew. They were a copy of the Babylon gun. My God, they've been doing this forever. No, Astro Kiwi's fine. She said nice things about me. It's okay. People who say nice things about me are fine.
world is going to win out over this very strong competition from the People's Republic of China. They need to abandon these antiquated ways that were antiquated in the 1970s, let
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Now we're playing alternate history.
alone now. Let's hope that they do it. If you like what I have to talk about, if you like the way I go after companies like Boeing or anybody else who's wasteful when it comes to our efforts to explore the cosmos, to explore the solar system, you know how to support me. It's all
You want to explore the solar system by giving all of our money to a delusional tyrant. Yeah, let's do that, bud. This guy's getting a video.
available through the description, and my merchandise is also available in the channel, including this new one here that I kind of like it, actually. I didn't design it, just so you know. One of my supporters on Discord did, but there are many benefits to becoming a supporter, an angry advocate, as I like to call them now, and you can do
Again, here's the problem, bud. You're emotionally compromised. Emotionally compromised people shouldn't be making these kinds of decisions. Oh, jeez.
it through Patreon, or there's a little join button now you may have noticed at the bottom of my videos. Hit that, and you can also become an angry advocate and get some benefits on Discord, including the ability to DM me if you really want to do that. So until Congress and the government figures out that an expendable
Well, so Elon did this intentionally. I guarantee you he did this intentionally. So one of the things is, I'm going to talk about this in Criticizing Starship Part 3, is I think Elon realized at some point that if he didn't do anything to defend himself, everyone would realize he's just another one of these guys trying to capitalize on green stuff. So he started, like, because you'll notice, if you look at the comments to any video that, like, is mindlessly defending, like, is critical of Elon, every fifth comment will be something that says, you know, oh, but give him a break, he's trying to save humanity, he's trying to do all these things, right? But then, right, but it's all the same, but it's nothing substantial, right? But it's insulation against criticism. That's what he does. And I also think that this new space world and space cadets in general, they've been around for a while. You can read stuff that talks about how, you know, SSTOs will make every other rocket obsolete, right? But it's not, you know, it obviously didn't happen. This mentality's been around for a while, but Musk has capitalized on it. Sorry, Randy said something. I trust Randy. Randy's cool. The problem here is that China has shown that much as invested in space exploration as everyone else, which is not very much. Yeah. Yeah, that's a, yeah, well, China is taking their own pace, because I think they had, the last human launch they had was in 2016. So they're just, you know, but with Elon's cult, it's clear that, you know, he did this intentionally. He did this to insulate himself from criticism. And I just do believe there's other people who are willing to do this, to just mindlessly defend him, right? I'm going to get political for a second here. Trump had a similar effect, where you notice a lot of people got really into Trump, and they started really defending him. It gave them life. It gave them an imagined purpose. You can talk about Jim Jones or L. Ron Hubbard or any of these other people. They do kind of the same thing. So we need an alternative cult. Okay, I'm going to save humanity. We're all going to colonize Crooney, and we're going to build big dumb boosters and go there. Okay? I'm going to save humanity. There we go. We're going to colonize different asteroids, we're going to form a cult, and that's what we're going to do. Oh, no. If you read about what's happening at Rocket Lab, they have a terrible work environment there, too. Peter Beck, not as good. Rocket Lab's not as good either. Branson is probably the best of these guys. He does seem like someone who enjoys, like, he's still, you know, I'm assuming if I dig up stuff on him, we'll find it. Now, Tory is someone we could get behind, yes. But I nominate myself when I start my rocket company in 10 to 15 years. Oh, I'm sorry about your head. I know Gwynne Shotwell worked for Microcosm. I need to take the sunglasses off. I know Gwynne Shotwell worked for Microcosm for a bit. So I know she's somewhat technically competent, but I don't know. The thing is, we don't really know what these people actually think and what they're paid to think, or if they've fallen into something. And it's a shame we don't, but that's also a good thing. Yes, The cult of Robert Truax. He's dead. It's okay. He won't mind. We'll build a religion around Robert Truax. Peefers. That sounds a bit... sounds dirty. Oh, okay. For Peter Beck, it's because apparently the environment at Rocket Lab is just as bad as any other Silicon Valley company. So that's what I've read. That, you know, it's him boosters. Is that reference to himbos? Why is my phone vibrating? Oh, that's Duolingo telling me to die. Wait, Gwynne Shotwell's husband works for JPL? I didn't know that. Huh. I mean, here's the thing. Aerospace is a small world. Once you get in, you pretty much know everyone, right? You've heard of Aiken's laws? Aiken walked by me once at Rascal. He almost tripped on me, actually, right? The guy who, SpaceWorks, that Common Sense Skeptic talked about with Orbital Gateway. I've met the guy who does this. I got some of their merch, not with me. I should have brought that over, but right, it's once you're in, you just know everybody. It's weird. Truaxians, there we go. That sounds like a Star Trek thing. Okay, when we hit 10:30, I'm gonna call it quits. So, see, true. Casino callings around 16 Psyche. There we go. Let's do this. Let's get the natives in on it too. Yep, so Angry's getting a video next year. Yeah, so it's the schedule. Yes. Oh. Oh, that's neat. 10:30 for me, Randy. It's 2 minutes for me. I'm really warm, and I'm gonna get some ice cream after this. Yeah, so tomorrow I'm gonna upload most likely a better introduction. Then OTREG, Know Your Rocket, is 2 weeks, I think. And then Jules Verne and Space Guns, and probably the end of the month or early September. And then Percheron is the next to Know Your Rocket. So that's kind of the schedule. As for videos, I'm gonna leave it a surprise. I'm not gonna tell you what's next. I like surprises. We have 1 minute. Oh, and it's vanilla flavor. Yeah, I think it's the same article. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. I can understand the startup environment being that way, but once you get a certain point, you can't be acting like a startup. You gotta actually start doing stuff. Where is the article? I can't find it. I'd have to. I saw this like 2 or 3 days ago. When are you upgrading my YouTube? When I hit enough subscribers. I'm at 704. I'm gonna refresh this page. I might have gotten 1 or 2 more. I lost one. It's when I hit a big enough subscriber point, because I do tend to upgrade. I'm gonna get carpeting for my apartment. Not apartment, my house. Sorry, I don't live in an apartment anymore. Oh well, bye, Bombi. Aren't you in Cyprus? Oh, it is 10:30. Yes. Okay. I sort of had a single viral video. It's the one I won't acknowledge exists. Yeah, I mean, SLS versus Starship, if you don't know anything, kind of is big. I think it's 7.8K views right now. And then criticizing Starship is at like 3. So, I don't know. Maybe criticizing Starship Part 3. Part 3 might be the big thing at the end of the year. I don't know. Well, folks, it's 10:31, so I'm going to wrap this up. Say goodbye, everyone. I'm waving. See ya, Randy. I enjoy your comments. All right. It is past my bedtime. Good night, everyone. How do I end stream? Oh, there it is.